Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys are back at it in Oxnard today, but after today, they only have a couple left in California before packing it up and heading back to Frisco for the remainder of training camp. Houston Texans suffered another loss. Tight end Brevin Jordan suffered what is being described as a season-ending knee injury in practice yesterday. Jordan had his 2024 season cut short with an ACL injury, same knee that was injured yesterday.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylow.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And it's another day closer to another football weekend. That's right. It is Tuesday here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Thanks for spending some time with us. I'm Joe Reinagel. That's Jason Minix. And what more to dive into today?
Yeah, definitely a Taco Tuesday. And what I'm worried about, our listener John, who's watching on YouTube, says he's about to drive into Norman, Oklahoma.
Why?
I know there's a casino there. Maybe he's looking to collect from the Sooners' new quarterback, John Mateer, who is dumb, putting in Venmo notes what the Venmo is actually for.
Well, it was just inside jokes, Jason. That's between he and his friends. That's what he says. Inside jokes, just having some fun. Bunch of college kids horsing around.
Well, look, when I pay the lawn guy, I put grass. That could mean all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have Venmo. But it is weird. So when I need to Venmo somebody or somebody who needs to Venmo me, we all have to run it through my kid's account, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And she, I don't want to say she gets mad, but she'll do the free transfer, and then so I've got to wait 3 days before I actually get my money, right? If I'm doing it that way, or I'll text her and say, hey, Venmo $50 to Uncle Joe or whatever the case may be, because I don't do it, but when she sends the screenshot to show me that she's done it, I can see all her other Venmo stuff.
And so you know what she's buying.
Yeah.
Does she put the accurate description on there?
She's learned not to.
Well, I mean, where she lives, though, certain things are legal.
Well,
correct?
that's it. Yeah, I mean, like if it were to say weed, that's legal there, so
right,
that's
no
not
problem.
a concern. But she babysits a lot, and people will pay her for babysitting, and then you realize as a parent quickly, kids aren't always up to par. They're smart, but not as smart as parents, right? Because I can see her bank account might have no money, and if I see she's down to $30, I might just throw 50 in there. Well, then I caught on that she keeps a lot of money in her Venmo account, which I don't get to see what's in there.
Well, it sounds to me like she's a hell of a lot smarter than you.
Well, except for she let me know that, and now I don't do that. Like when she was in undergrad, and you would look up and see, my goodness, you eat out a lot, and it's all crap, and you're broke.
Well, she's a kid.
Yeah.
In relative speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's an adult, but to me, she's a kid.
Hey, man, she's got her own. She's finally started her big girl job. I'm a month away from her paying her own rent. We said, yeah. What are you laughing at, Pledge?
Yeah, well, I believe it too, Pledge, when I see it.
No, seriously.
I believe it when I see it, yeah.
That's happening. I'm about to get a raise. Yeah, she's got a real job, making real money. We told her, she started in mid-July. Her first paycheck was not much because, it was a week. So you get the August paycheck, that's yours. Your September paycheck is going to rent.
Nice. Well, good for you. I hope that all works out. We'll see. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, and I want proof. I don't know why Venmo makes you do that, though. I mean, it kind of pisses me off. Because you Venmo something, you have to put why you're sending it. Who gives a damn why I'm sending it? I'm sending it.
Well, do you have to?
You have to. You do have to. I've never done it where you don't have to.
Look, because we're not allowed to split our rent, me and my roommate, she Venmos me, I just pay the rent. I just get a whole bunch of random emojis.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's for anything in particular, but...
I know, but why do you have to even do that? It seems kind of silly, right? That you have to put something in the space
To catch the stupid people.
I guess
Like John Mateer.
Well, he's an idiot. He put what he bet on UCLA and USC.
205 and OU still sucks. And here's the thing. I watched that kid play at Wazoo. And because he is that talented, I think Oklahoma's going to be a far better football team than what a lot of people are predicting. That was a hell of a get for the Sooners.
Yeah.
The question is, how many games is he now going to have to miss? Because they can't just say, oh, it was an inside joke, nothing to see here. This is one of the rules where it seems like in college football there are no rules. They have to enforce this one. There is no way he can get the Ohtani treatment and just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, or he doesn't have a manager he can throw in jail for a
Well,
while.
that's true.
That's true, and get off the hook. Yeah, when I do what I do for entertainment purposes only,
Yes.
and if Venmo's involved, then I put emojis like that too, and I'm not even going to say what I do.
Well, what do you do, Joe?
I'm not going to say.
Well,
I'll put a little
what?
smiley face
Oh,
or maybe a crying emoji if I lose. Who
Well,
knows?
Yeah, so a lot of crying emojis.
Well, there have been lately, you know? I can't wait for football season, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that, though. But it is what it is. I just don't know why they make you do that. That really kind of irritates me.
Like on Zelle, which I Zelle a lot, there's an option for you to put what it's for, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Right. Now, I use Zelle is like my big boy payments. If I've got to pay something that's legit. But if it's just stupid things like gambling or something else, then, I'll Venmo.
Hold on. I'm trying to follow the logic here. Real things or Zelle?
Right, like legit bills or payments to somebody.
All right, so, again, it's kind of like having the kid and trying to figure out what they mean. So, in other words, what you don't really want your wife to know about is through Venmo.
That pretty much sums it up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Or not exactly what it is. There's
exactly.
There's fudge room in there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
yes. Always room for a little bit of fudge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad we got that all cleared up. That's nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, lots going on today. And no, I'm not going to start paying anybody else's rent.
They want you buying them cars and everything here, Minutes, with your newfound money.
Yeah, that ain't happening either.
I think Peter Holt asked you to just redirect it to Project Marvel.
You know,
Yeah,
that would be nice if Peter J. Holt would actually respond to an interview request, which he has not. We have requested to get Peter J. Holt on. I don't even know if he sees the request, but we requested again today. We requested the mayor,
Gina Ortiz Jones.
So
Madam Mayor.
We requested her, and let me check. Yep, still no response.
No response.
We do have Councilman Mark White scheduled to join us at 4:35 to give us the latest on Project Marvel.
District 10 Councilman Mark White will join us at 4:35. So I know he kind of got there was a little back and forth between him and Mayor Ortiz Jones the other day during some of this talk about Project Marvel. So we'll get his side of the story, and would love to have her side of the story as well, because that's what we do here. But she's got to respond to it.
Well, what we need and what we've tried to get from the Spurs side, we've asked for, and I could read you the email, Peter J. Holt, R.C. Buford, or anybody with SS&E that can explain what's going on.
Yes, Bobby Pettis would be great.
The same with City Council. I believe our KTSA producer is trying to get Eric Walsh, the city manager, although that dude's busy. But somebody, because there seems to be so much misinformation out there. What are the real facts? Because, one, don't look on social media to think you're getting real information. Where are we? What's really happening? And that's what I'm hoping that we can get out of the city councilman, Mark White, that's going to join us here in a couple hours, because it seems like Ortiz Jones is just trying to delay, And while she says she's for it, her actions say otherwise. So I'd like to get her on to clarify that. You know,
just ask her straight out. Are you against this or are you for it?
Yeah, do you see the vision or do you not? Are you because, you know, you talk to a lawyer, a delay is a win.
Sure.
And she's seeming to delay. And then you read about what these economic impact study things can do and their forecasts. You don't base a budget off of that. That just gives you an idea. Generally speaking, an idea you already know the answer to. You know, it's not like you're going to grab the Farmer's Almanac to decide if you need an umbrella for today. You don't do that.
No, it's not a good idea. No, it's not a good idea. Look, we're just trying to clarify and see what's going on. Look, I still, in my gut, I feel like this thing's going to move forward with or without the mayor's stamp of approval or whatever you want to call it, because I think most of the city council sees the vision and they see what this will do to the city long term. So, Mark White, again, at 4:35 is going to join us. District 10 Councilman will join us to, obviously he's for it. So if there's an opposing view on city council and you're listening, you're more than welcome to join us as well.
We've tried. I mean, Elaine's working on getting everybody.
She is. And
if she randomly texts and says so-and-so can call in right now, then we'll pull the car over and bring them on.
See, we got to go to the other side of the building for the political stuff.
Yeah.
That's where they handle all of that stuff. We're, again, in the toy department over here. So they like come over here and laugh. Yeah. We go over there and, well, we deal with politics of all kinds.
Yeah.
That's the way that it goes.
And it really does seem like you got a whole bunch of people, including the new mayor, that are just playing politics.
It's the way that it goes these days, it seems like, in the world of politics. Everybody's playing politics, and that's the way that it goes. Is Brian Schottenheimer playing politics? Yeah, the Cowboys only got, counting today, 3 days left in Oxnard before they head back to Frisco for their game Saturday night against the Baltimore Ravens. But they will hold some open practices there at the Star in Frisco. But Schotty, well, he had a press conference today, and he was talking about all kinds of stuff. We'll hear from the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 6. The Cowboys are back home from training camp for their second preseason game, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Pre-game at 5. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the last weekend of quarter horse racing season at Retama Park. And every Saturday night, cheer on the Wheatie Dogs as they race for big prizes. Enjoy terrace dining along with San Antonio's best sports bar, Clubhouse 95. With live music every Friday night. Nothing beats quarter horse racing when you get playpen rewards with every wager. This is the last weekend of quarter horse racing until next year. So don't miss live racing action at Retama Park. For all the details, visit retamapark.com. That's retamapark.com.
Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You work hard to provide for yourself and your family, and that's why identity theft is so scary. Not only does it pose a threat to your financial well-being, everything you've worked so hard for, but it's also a danger to your family. Even children can be victims. It's not their money thieves go after, obviously, but their social security number. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Act now and save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic, because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll have a fully operational Death Star, fully manned and ready to attack. Is Micah a new cowboy? And Project Marvel better be moving on. And oh my goodness, college football. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Yeah, I looked at my handy-dandy weather app just to make sure I'm up to date on everything. Looks like we could have some rain this afternoon, Minix.
What, Bill?
Did you go wash your car today?
I did not.
Well, I'm surprised. You did, Pledge?
I thought about it.
Well,
back when I was going to lunch, the line was long, so I just went to.
Now, I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying there is a chance.
Well, there's always a chance.
No, that's not true.
There is always a chance.
It's not true. There's not always a chance. Although those weather folks will tell you there is. 10% chance of rain today.
It rained the other day when there was a 9% chance.
When? The hell did it rain?
About a week ago, both Pledge and I both washed our cars, and it rained. And both of us said there was no rain in the forecast. Whether it was my iPhone or his Android, they were both wrong.
Well, I wish you guys would go wash your car every day. I mean, we'd use a little rain, you know. My yard's starting to get a little brown.
Yeah.
Just saying. You guys go wash your car.
You could hand water, sir.
Well, for the right price, I'd be happy to, yeah.
You lazy.
I can be bought. Without a doubt. Hey, Shotty said he's going to work on some things, that they needed to work on some things in practice for their last 3 days in Oxnard. And I just wonder about that, Minix. You know, when it's tough to leave Oxnard and come back to Texas just because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Cowboys now are going to have to practice, although they have a nice bubble and an indoor facility and all that. But they may have to practice outside.
Well, and again, they need to practice some outside just to get some work in the heat, get a good sweat going. But they have to take advantage of what they have left in Oxnard. But they're all human. And, you know, when you're this close to getting home, and you've been out there for a long time. We were out there from a Saturday to a Saturday. And that was the quickest long week ever, right?
That was long.
I mean, by Thursday, like, how many more days, right? And partly because you're running out of underwear. Now, those guys, you wonder, being so close to getting home, will there be any distractions?
Well, it really wasn't nearly as long as last year. Last year felt like an eternity. You guys were here. But no, I started the meeting off of that. We need to be present. We need to stay in the moment. We're going to have 2 physical practices. Both are in pads today, hour 45 today, 2 hours tomorrow. And are there distractions about going home? Yeah, probably. But leave that at the door. Leave that, in your room. And when you're here, you're doing football, and we got a lot of work to do. And I think the best teams in the league, they maximize these opportunities these weeks leading up to preseason game 2. You've played a game. You've made some adjustments from personnel standpoint, and now you need to go do it during the week of practice.
In other words, let me translate that. Finish strong, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Finish strong. Let's go. That's it.
Oh, wait, that was Jason Garrett.
Well,
Fight.
Same guy.
The clapper.
Same guy.
They have gotten a lot done out there. And we could see some of that, what we saw while we were in Oxnard, what translated to the preseason game, but also the coaching staff and the enthusiasm in which they work. I thought it was interesting today when Shotty was talking about how he put his staff together, and one job that he didn't hire for is having an assistant head coach.
That's a great question. I can't believe nobody's asked me that. To me, at the end of the day, I think I want to lean on all my coaches, one. I've obviously got an inner circle of people that I talk to a lot, but I'm not real big on titles. I think titles should be earned and not given, and this is year 1. And so will we have an assistant head coach next year? Maybe. But I do think that sometimes, and we're all guilty of this, we've all done it, but sometimes you use titles to get guys out of contracts and things like that. You try to. It doesn't usually work. But my belief is that titles, if someone's named the assistant head coach, they should have earned that, and they should truly be that. Whereas, okay, if I have a question on anything, I'm going to it. But it's more of a team of people now that I use, and it's not always position coaches because they're pretty busy. It's more coordinators and things like that. But I was asked by many guys when I was interviewing them, hey, well, what about a potential title? And I was honest with all of them. I said, yeah, I'm not saying no forever, but I am saying no now. And that's just because of my belief.
Well, Eberflus doesn't have a chance because he was a horrible head coach. I can only imagine what an assistant head coach he would be. That'd be awful.
Defensive coordinator.
That's fine. He can do that. I don't understand the whole assistant head coach anyway. Should be a head coach. You got your offensive, defensive coordinators, and then all the assistants. What do you need an assistant head coach for?
It's a fancy title for a position coach that wants more money, and you got to justify it, I suppose.
Well, I hope Jerry was listening to that because their Shotty just gave away the secret.
Well, I would hope Jerry would know that. But more importantly, as Shotty said, it ain't about titles. It's about accountability within the coaching staff.
I don't think these guys are afraid of me. I think they know I have a temper, so they know how to approach me the right way. But, yeah, I think we've built a staff, Calvin, that guys are willing to hold everybody accountable, including myself. I want to be held accountable. I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to step up in front of the team and step up in front of you guys and admit, hey, I made a mistake, and I have no problem with that. And if I'm judged on one mistake, then so be it. But I think we've built a staff that I don't want yes men. I can't think of one member of our staff that's a yes man. I think they will challenge me. They will challenge her. Because if they can't challenge me, then how can I count on the fact they're going to challenge their players? You're talking about players that are making $30, $40, $50 million. So if they can't hold their head coach accountable, then why would I trust that they can do that? So that was part of the deal when we went through the hiring process.
And it makes sense. Look, and again, I like it. I don't think you need an assistant head coach. I think that's a worthless title, and it was like a vice president. What do you do? Hey, assistant, give me a cup of coffee, will you?
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, so many people have an assistant head coach now, because he's got to go do things that he's never had to do before. So somebody is kind of in charge. You got Eberflus running the defense and Schottenheimer's running the offense, although they do have an offensive coordinator. His name is Clayton Adams, for those of you that can't remember his name. But at the same time, somebody that can make decisions, or quite frankly, somebody that you trust well enough that when you aren't sure, and he does seem to be the kind of guy that isn't afraid to say, you know what, I don't know what's the answer, but your assistant head coach could be that guy. Like, what do we do here? I don't know. Do you know the rule? I mean, maybe it is something along that. So he was asked, right? Who do you bounce things off of on your coaching staff?
I'm not going to share that with you just because it changes, a little bit. And I'm not, I don't want to separate, and say, okay, these are the only guys I talk to. So respectfully, I appreciate you asking the question, and it does change.
Do you really?
But so if it's here's what I'll say without naming names. It's different for different things. If it's a discipline issue, I might go to a couple different guys. If it's something game management guys, I might go to a couple different guys. If it's something offensively, and then sometimes I go to Jerry and Steven or Todd Williams or people like that. So it's not just I make it sound like we have this little 4-person deal that we go sit in my office, we close the door, and no one's welcome. It's not that. It's really you, because I have so much energy. I'm usually moving from office to office, and I'll be sitting here, and I'll be like, hey, Clarence, get over here, and then I'll bring 3 or 4 guys into me. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because the way I make decisions is I talk. Shocker, you guys know I like to talk, but the way I make decisions is by talking. So if I talk out loud normally and I listen to people, it makes it very crystal clear for me of what I want. Okay, hey, all right, great, I've got everybody's input. Anything else? Okay, here's what we're going to do.
I like that. I do. I like that because I've never seen an assistant head coach get fired. I guess they leave if the head coach gets fired, but it's the head coach. Nobody's talking about, well, that assistant head coach sucked. He was awful. I mean, that guy was terrible. I mean, we should keep the head coach and fire the assistant head coach.
Well, they do that with coordinators.
Well, they do.
Ask Kellen Moore. It is interesting hearing him talk about his processes. And again, I wasn't excited about the hire. He has won me over, but that dude better win games in September and October. And the schedule is brutal. Is he set up to be successful? Has Jerry set him up to be successful? Now, if you're paying attention to Twitter, Micah Parsons was not out there at the beginning of practice. He did finally show up. Because that would have been 3 practices in a row that he wasn't out there while getting a treatment on his back, is the official word. But also, I mean, you got to get the most out of this offense because while he is the head coach, this is his offense. Now, Clayton Adams is a non-play calling offensive coordinator. This offense is Schottenheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And all this head coach talk is great, but we know his focus is really on one side of the ball. And maybe that's what the assistant head coach could do for him, but he trusts Eberflus, who was a unsuccessul head coach with the Chicago Bears.
He
right?
was, yes.
Flus, you run the defense. I'm going to run the offense. One of the things that I found interesting that he said today, and we saw this a little bit at practice, and we weren't sure if it was offensive line bad or what, but Dak Prescott ran the ball a lot the week we were there. Which, again, why? Because Shotty says Dak is going to have to run the football.
Yeah, Dak's got to be able to run. I mean, quarterbacks run in this league. That's what they do. And, again, are we going to come out first play of the season against Philadelphia and run power read with the quarterback? No, probably not. Sorry about that.
Well, now you should.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Vic, but at the end of the day, yeah, he's got to move. He's got to make plays. He's got to extend plays. Can we run him? Sure. We'll run him. He's a good athlete. He has to be smart getting down. Hey, if he's in danger, slide, get down, and that's what all the great ones do.
Well, that's true, and we'll see. But Dak did look pretty good, I have to admit, because I was questioning that coming up with that injury that he had, but he looks like he was moving around pretty well. So we'll see what he looks like in real game action, because we're not going to see him until that Philadelphia game, because he's not going to play in any preseason games.
He's not, although that's Shotty's decision. And I've always been mixed on how much a starter should play in the preseason. Now, when there were 4, it was always the 3rd preseason game you would see the starters a bit. Now that there's 3, should we see some of these guys against the Ravens?
Yes.
I agree. I mean, even if it's a 2 series, because what you can't replicate in Oxnard or next week when they're back at the Star is play calling from Shoddy into Dak Prescott's helmet and the huddle and then the play.
You're exactly right.
Even if it's simple and safe, I would like to see Dak Prescott get some playing time in a preseason game. And if for anything else, just from the communication standpoint of Schottenheimer calling plays, a different voice. I mean, you listen to Shoddy talk, and then you think about Mike McCarthy, and let's go back years and years. McCarthy, when he took over the play calling from Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott talked about, having to translate the Pittsburghness coming from Mike McCarthy, right? Now he's got another voice calling those plays in his headphones. He needs to hear that in a game, in a stadium that is going to be loud, not as loud as a regular season game because it's preseason, but I would love to see Dak Prescott and some of these other guys on the field Saturday night against Baltimore.
Look, you are taking a chance. You're rolling the dice, but as we've seen, you're rolling the dice in practice, and you got to get these guys right. When I see Patrick Mahomes play and Joe Burrows play, I mean, seriously, Dak is certainly not above those guys. They should be playing, and I think Dak should even want to play. If it's Shoddy's decision and Dak goes to him and said, look, I'd like to play a couple of series, and Shoddy says no, well, then there's nothing he can do about it.
And according to Dak, that's kind of how it's happened. And I think Shoddy has said the same thing. That's coach's decision. But, and as a fan, we're all a little bit torn. Wrap these guys up in bubble wrap until the regular season, because if you get hurt in a preseason game, you're like, what the? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they have them. Why not take advantage of them?
I think you have to. Well, you don't have to, but I think it would benefit Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, who should get some action and some time with Dak Prescott in live game action. I think it only stands to reason instead of on-the-job training, because that's exactly what you're going to get if these guys don't play at all against the Super Bowl champions. And to me, that's not the place to do it. Get out there and get comfortable with each other. You can do that in practice, but it is not nearly the same as game activity. It's just not.
And you think about George Pickens, and this offense should be explosive. Now, they haven't named a starting running back, and I don't know that they will, but it certainly appears that Williams is leaning towards being RB1. Now, when we were out there, it was Williams or Sanders, depending on the day, and then Blue. Sanders and Blue have been hurt. We'll see if they play Saturday, but right now it looks like it could be Williams. I don't know that I'd touch any of these guys in a fantasy draft, but wide receiver room between Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson as a tight end, there are some viable options there, and I know a lot of people are getting ready for their fantasy drafts, or at the very least setting the date for when that fantasy draft is going to happen. And there was some nerves about the trade for Pickens because, dude, how bad do you have to be if Mike Tomlin gives up on you? But he was great the week we were there, and he's been great since he's been a Dallas Cowboy. And one of the things that Shoddy talked about today was just his coachability.
I think, from the time that we got George and we went into my office and spent some time together and shot some free throws and just talked and got to know each other, he made that very clear. He's like, Coach, I'm thrilled to be here, number one. I want to be coached. I want to be, I want to be great. I want to be a great player. I want to continue to be great. And so lean into me, be tough on me, tell me the things I need to do. And so, again, the way I am, Brad, is I start with the relationship piece of it. And because I think you can coach people hard and coach them the right way when you have those relationships. But that doesn't surprise me. He's been nothing but incredible in terms of the way he's worked with us, the way he's communicated with us. And I talk about it all the time, but the relationship that he and CeeDee have is special. And Junior Adams has done an amazing job of building the culture of his room. And that's something to be talked about because, there's certain rooms where it's like you got personalities and people like superstars. It's like sometimes they don't always get along. It happens in quarterback room. It happens in defensive line rooms. It happens in a lot of rooms. But Junior's built an amazing culture in that room where guys really just want to win and have success, and they don't really care who gets the credit.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see, and that's easy to say in training camp. But when you, start the season 3-3, and you've had some some adversity, then how do they handle it? Because, look, I didn't see George Pickens in training camp with Pittsburgh or in practice with Pittsburgh. All you saw George Pickens and his temper tantrums were during games on Sunday afternoon. So he may have been the perfect citizen there in Pittsburgh as well. It's just when the adversity comes, is he going to be that guy, or will he be the same guy that Shotty just talked about?
You know, it's interesting because you're right. We didn't see any of that, but when the trade was made, we had Brooke Pryor on the Blitz, who is the Steelers reporter for ESPN.com, and what she described and what we saw in Oxnard are two different people.
Right.
So I take that for what it is. Maybe it is the wake-up call for him and the light bulb goes off. Keep in mind, it's also a contract year, whether he gets a contract with the Cowboys or with somebody else, but in a lot of ways, GP is playing for his NFL career.
That's totally factual, and I think that, look, the Cowboys' offense has the potential to put a lot of points on the board. And if their defense can play anywhere close to good, if not very good, then they've got a chance to win a few ball games. But that schedule is brutal, and their division is brutal. So it's going to be a fun season. I don't think there's any question about it. And then you got that guy that, well, we're obligated to talk about, Micah Parsons.
Here we go.
Where's number 11? He's still holding out. Jason mentioned that he actually showed up to practice today or went out there and he's making $24 million standing there.
Yeah.
And he's looking pretty good doing it.
Well, sure.
Emitt Smith was asked about the Micah Parsons situation. There was some swanky event last night.
Yeah, the premiere of the Netflix deal.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Down there in Hollywood.
So Emitt was there, and well, he's got some pretty good things to say about the whole Micah Parsons situation. We'll hear from Emitt Smith when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. For well over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. They're a fantastic company, and they do everything the right way. And they have the right service for you, no matter what your project is, at the right price. There is never a service charge. They always offer free estimates, so it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. You got an issue at the house or your office with fuses that constantly are blowing. You got a light that needs to be moved. I've had them add extra outlets in the garage because the builder never puts enough in there. Spotlight over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. Call Hill Electric, whether it's for your office, for your home, 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or hill-electric.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is calling all golfers. The Fall Golf Classic is back. Mark your calendars for Monday, September 29th, and lock in your spot for one of the most fun golf events of the year at the Olympia Hills Golf Club. For just $120 per player, or $400 for a foursome, you'll get 18 holes of fun, friendly competition, and non-stop laps with your crew. But don't wait. Spots will sell out fast. And once they're gone, they're gone. This isn't your average uptight tournament. It's all about cutting loose, enjoying the day, and supporting a great cause. The Community Foundation of the Hill Country. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and sponsored by Fly by Yingling and PPL Motorhomes. And when the final putt drops, the party's just getting started. Head over to the Break Room Bar on Pat Booker Road for the official after party. Cold drinks, great food, and the perfect finish to a perfect day. Don't get left out. Grab your crew, grab your clubs, and get ready for a Monday you won't forget. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Hornitos Tequila and America's team have one major thing in common. Everyone can enjoy them. They weren't made just to have a few fans, but to gather people who love high-quality, real Texas football and premium fresh-pressed agave tequila. It's for all our fans. Whether you live in Texas or not, or sip your Hornitos in a Paloma or straight, it's 100% agave tequila for 100% of Dallas Cowboys fans. Hornitos, the tequila de todos. Drink smart. Hornitos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume. 2025 Salsa Tequila Import Company, Chicago, Illinois.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings.
Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch. You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up. I want winners. Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off. I like this kind of party! From AARP and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Jerry was in his element last night, wasn't he? King of Hollywood with the premiere of The Gambler.
You know,
I can't wait to see that, by the way. I'm making fun, but I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, you think about last night, Hollywood Boulevard, a blue carpet premiere, everything Dallas Cowboyed up. The legends were showing up, Michael Irvin, Emitt Smith, players that I haven't thought about in years. Players that, you remember that guy? I don't remember that guy. But, I mean, it was just the glory days, the 90s. And, look, I don't know that this Micah situation has anything to do with promoting Netflix. Jerry doesn't need it. He doesn't. But even last night I saw Michael Irvin, a clip of him standing right next to Jerry. In fact, touching Jerry, grabbing Jerry, saying Jerry needs to pay this guy, pay Micah. and Jerry's unfazed by it. He knows the players are all going to take up for the players. He knows that. Michael could say that in front of him. It's not like Michael was trying to talk behind his back. Neither was Emitt, although the sound bites, it didn't look like Emitt was standing next to Jerry while saying Jerry needs to pay Micah. Michael Irvin was doing that. Jerry, though, loves controversy. And if there's no controversy, he's going to make something up.
I do believe if we're not being looked at, then I'll do my part to get us looked at. The Cowboys are a soap opera, 365 days.
The stream will begin
when it gets slow,
momentarily.
I'll stir it up.
Please take your seats.
And so it's wonderful to have the great athletes, have the great players. But there's something more there. There's sizzle, there's emotion. And if you will, there's controversy. That controversy is good stuff in terms of keeping and having people's attention.
Well, I mean, we all knew that, right? That's what Jerry does. He likes it when people talk about him. They're going to anyway. 365, as Jerry just mentioned. So that's the way that it is, and Jerry loves it. He's the ultimate showman, this guy.
He is, and marketer, and he is an incredible businessman, even though if you read Bill Barnwell today, his handling of contracts have cost the Cowboys at least $84 million between a couple of guys. It's a long read, so you know, when you're in that little room by yourself, I mean, it's like reading War and Peace, but it's pretty detailed and interesting. But I do come back to Jerry has also always seemingly taken care of his guys. But if you have a contract, you have a contract. Like, could you imagine, you know, Cam Hayward with Pittsburgh? He signed a new deal last year. Now he wants another new deal. He can't justify going out onto the field for just $15 million.
Looking for my contract to be addressed. Honestly looking to be valued. In my eyes, when I look around and, you know, at my position, I think I'm like, 22nd as a D-tack. I'm 36 as a D lineman. And, you know, I know what I bring to this team and what I'm capable of on and off the field. And so it's hard for me to, you know, after the year I've had, to really justify playing at the number I'm playing at. You know, I understand I signed a contract last year.
Do you?
But to be completely honest with you, when I signed that, I told them, you know, when I have an all-pro year, expecting me to come back. And you can look at the contract and see what it was, but you know, I think everybody kind of giggled a little bit, but in my heads, I used it as motivation to go out there and prove it.
See, look, I'm not going to sit here like I'm going to take up for the owners, but I mean, that kind of stuff would drive me insane.
Well,
if you just signed a contract, it wasn't enough. Blame your agent.
Well, I mean, you signed it.
Exactly.
And if you knew you were going to have an all-pro year, why not sign a one-year deal?
Exactly. That drives me insane.
Well, and it drives Jerry insane. And Jerry is also utilizing all of this to get publicity. But last night at the blue carpet premiere, Emitt Smith was talking, and Emitt wants to set the record straight. Quit comparing his contract situation to what Micah Parsons is going through right now.
I keep trying to tell people there's a marketing play, right, and then there's a reality play. Right. The reality play is, and I'm going to tell folks, so the media should have never called me a holdout. Right. Because I didn't have a contract. Right. If I take your contract from you right now from the place you work, you can't come back in the building. They're taking your key card and everything else. You can't come back in the building. Right. And you have no job there. But if I give you a job and you get a key fob, you can come into the building. Right. My contract ended. Right. I didn't have no more obligations to the Dallas Cowboys. I was out there in the wind as a free agent for 30 days until those 30 days closed. Then I only can talk to one team. I lost leverage. And that's what Micah Parsons is at right now. It's not having enough leverage. And so, but he also has another year on his contract. So there's a distinct difference between a holdout and being truly a free agent. So the NFL did a good job of branding that moniker on me with the public. So everybody brings it up in that context. But I'm here to set the record straight. I'm only one man. I'm only one man that can set it straight, because y'all got multiple voices. You talk every day of the week. You interview folks, and you regurgitate the same old bullshit. I just tell you the real. Right. So let's be honest. There's not a distinct difference between the two. The only difference is I didn't sign until 2 games in. Right. That's the only difference. And so it is what it is. I just hope Parsons get his deal done. Because for me, it's more important to have all this business stuff behind you, so the team itself can start to do the things that they came here to do. They came to training camp to work on what? Come together as a team, forging the hood as a brotherhood, building the chemistry that they need to build. And that all the other distractions need to be gone, so you can focus on what you need to focus on.
You know, Emmitt Smith may be one of my favorite interviews of all time, because he does not mess around, and he's going to tell you how he feels, whether you like it or not. And I love that. It wasn't a holdout. And we were talking earlier. I always thought it was a holdout.
I've always
because that's what everybody said.
Well, you Google it, and now granted, I guess terms were different then, because He wasn't truly a free agent. He could only negotiate with one team, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. Granted, this is 1993. He signed a 4-year deal that made him the highest paid running back in the NFL at the time.
Wow.
It was just over $13 million over the 4 years, but he did get $7 million up front.
Wow. Think about that. Think about that.
Saquon uses that in the restroom.
That's crazy. For the all-time leading rusher in the NFL, that was what it was. It's fascinating. But look, again, he's right. He had no – I don't know that he had no leverage because the Cowboys certainly needed a running back at that point in time, and he was the best. But Micah, and we've talked about it, does not. I mean, he has no leverage whatsoever. Year left, franchise tag in the future.
Well, and all that's a possibility, but you got Shoddy trying to set a new culture, family, team, trust. The way the Joneses do business with their players, and the families fight, it's understandable, but trust. Even if you're fighting, do you still trust? And then you've got all the other teammates. How is this not a distraction for the team, especially when they get back to Dallas?
They had to answer these questions every day. Right. So they got to deal with something that had nothing to do with the game of football. Right. You see what I'm saying? It's a distraction. Mm-hmm. Like, these questions right now have nothing to do with this movie tonight. Right. Nothing. It's a distraction. It's what you want to talk about. It's not really why I'm here.
Exactly. Wants to talk about the movie and the glory days and the 3 Super Bowl championships that they won in the mid-'90s. That's what he was here to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And Emitt didn't hold back in talking about Jerry's Super Bowl drought.
Well, Jerry never caught a pass. Okay. He never ran a ball, and he damn sure didn't throw one. So at some point, players got to take on ownership of what they've been trained and what they've been taught to do. We had to do it ourselves. We went back-to-back Super Bowls, and then we lost our leader. And we was in disarray for a year. But as a player and as the leadership of that ball club and that ball team, we took it upon ourselves to say, this is what we're going to do. We don't care who's at the hand. Our systems are still the same. Our processes are still the same. We know how to work. We've been trained how to work. We were built from the ground up. So that foundation never left. So therefore, we was able to go back and win our third. So at some point, you as a player have to take on ownership and be developed into the leaders that you need to develop. And it's not all about you all the time. It's about bringing others with you because you can't win by yourself.
I love that. I love that. Now tell me, is he absolutely preaching right there? And his message should be crystal clear. Jerry never caught a pass. Jerry never threw a pass. Didn't tackle anybody. The players have to get it done. Amen, brother Emmitt Smith.
But it is shocking, as Emitt said, that the Cowboys, it's been 30 years, but they're still America's team.
Yes, it's still shocking to me. And you know, I'm a firm believer that we should be in contention every decade, at least one time in the NFC Championship game. We should be there at least 3 times because that's the hallmark of a true championship organization. And that's that legacy that I look for, and that's what I expect of our Cowboys. However, it hasn't happened. But nonetheless, we still America's team, no matter how everybody look at it.
Still America's team. They're still talked about more than any other team in the NFL. Just turn on ESPN or Fox or whomever you watch for your sports, and I guarantee you there is a Cowboy story every single day.
And that is Jerry, if it's quiet, I'll stir it up. And doing that. And Emitt, we see him every year, Super Bowl, sometimes a couple other times throughout the year. He doesn't hold back. And Emitt is one that probably could have gone the media route and had one of those TV jobs. But that dude has made a whole lot of money being a Cowboy legend off the field, probably more so than he made while he was in. You know, you look at whether it's Tony Romo or Troy Aikman. I mean, hell, they even let Jason Witten be in the booth once because you had a star on your helmet. It's just the way it is. You know, former Cowboys. And Jerry does try to leverage that. You're going to make a lot of money off the field as a former Cowboy. You know, DeMarcus Ware is kind of one exception to where you see somebody that played for multiple teams because he won a Super Bowl somewhere else. Depending on what he's doing, you might see Bronco gear, but most of the time with DeMarcus Ware, former Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a Cowboy. And Jerry should utilize that. Emmett Smith's got a hell of a deal with Herradura, too, by the way.
Yeah, it's good tequila.
So that's not bad. It really is good tequila. So, old Emmett.
Better when you're drinking it with Emmett.
When he's pouring it.
Yes.
And that's even nice. Yeah, it is fun. Can't wait to do that
heavy
again
pour.
at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Are you a Swifty? Mittix?
I'm a Swifty.
Yes, I am. And she got a new album coming out. And she went to a very safe place to announce that.
They wonder how they got the exclusive. Son of a
lovey-dovey on the podcast. Oh, it was so sweet. We'll hear from him. Plus, a very bad, I don't know if he's a bad gambler or not, but he's bad at hiding it. We'll talk about that and a lot more. We continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need uniforms done. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries, medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, to name a few. Speaking of schools, it's back. If your group, your organization needs T-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. If you need caps done, Sam has over 25,000 caps on display in his showroom and more than 75 color combinations just waiting for your logo. And he's got all the popular cap brands like the Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America in stock. Go see Sam. If you just need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, a dress shirt, Sam will get you taken care of. Nobody has better prices. He's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, about a mile inside Loop 410 right there across from the McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Riding 281 with the Blitz.
It's the last weekend of quarter horse racing season at Retama Park. And every Saturday night, cheer on the Weenie Dogs as they race for big prizes. Enjoy terrace dining along with San Antonio's best sports bar, Clubhouse 95. With live music every Friday night. Nothing beats quarter horse racing when you get playpen rewards with every wager. This is the last weekend of quarter horse racing until next year. So don't miss live racing action at Retama Park. For all the details, visit retamapark.com. That's retamapark.com.
Free products and services are the best. They're next to non-existent, though. But the next best thing does exist. Barter. Alamo Barter. Right here in San Antonio, if you have a business and provide a product or service, you can barter with hundreds of other businesses that are already members. From trips to a medical visit, restaurants, and home services, Alamo Barter is a great way for you to trade out your skills with others. Call Alamo Barter or visit them online at alamobarter.com. alamobarter.com.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go. Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Does RexMD really work?
Over 85% of guys said not only does it work, they saw results the very first night. And you can get your first month free at freerexmd.com with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit freerexmd.com to get your first month free. That's FREEREXMD.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home.
That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the opening week slate in the NBA has been released. The Spurs are going to open up against the Dallas Mavericks, a matchup between Wemby and Cooper Flagg. Last week, of course, it was announced the Spurs would also play on Christmas Day, taking on the OKC Thunder at 1:30 on ABC and ESPN. And the UFC is moving to CBS and Paramount as Dana White announced fans no longer have to buy pay-per-view. A historic contract, $7.7 billion.
SportsCenter brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon in San Antonio. It's a beautiful day, I think. We don't have any windows in here, so I'm not sure. Last time I checked, though, it was a beautiful day on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. That's Jason Minix. And, boy, a lot going on. And we're on a little bit of a, what do you call that hunt? It's a
hunt?
Well, a hunt, but it's a treasure hunt, maybe. We're looking for a trophy in our fantasy football.
Oh.
We cannot find out where the hell it is.
You're on a wild goose chase.
Scavenger hunt. That's what I'm trying to find.
So Phil Anaya is our league commissioner, and he's trying to find out where the trophy is. Now, Joe won the league last year. Never saw the trophy.
Never saw it.
Although
No.
Phil just texted, glad we located it.
Oh, did we?
I don't know.
Well, that's good news if that's the case. Our scavenger hunt didn't last very long.
No.
So we thought, I think it was Rob who won the league the year before. And I think he had the trophy, and so we're thinking that it might still be in the back of his trunk.
It might be. The problem is, I think he got a new car since then.
Who knows? But it was a fun scavenger hunt while it lasted. If they found it, that's good because I certainly plan on repeating. I know everybody's kind of geeked up for fantasy football. I've heard a lot of folks getting their drafts together and stuff, and it's always a fun time of year.
It is fun. Although I got to admit, our league, and we've been in the same league since the early 90s, back when you used to call a voicemail, leave your lineup, and then have to handwrite everything down and then use the newspaper to figure out the scoring. And I'm trying to think, you and me,
Kevin Brock,
but who are still in the league.
Oh,
that are still in. It might just be you and I.
I think so.
Because Bill Taylor got in a little bit later, but he was probably still back in the call it into the voicemail days early on. But now we do the draft online. It used to be we'd all get together somewhere, and a lot of drinking was going on, and the drafts would take forever.
A little too much.
Everybody would show up with their magazines. And then you'd get into, the 7th round and pick somebody, and then there's arguments over, and I already drafted him. Oh, I missed that because, distractions.
Now it's easy. You get on the computer, and it's, it's all kind of done for you right there. But you miss the camaraderie and stuff that we used to meet at that Hooters over there on Fredericksburg Road.
Yes.
It was always a pretty good time.
And then the post-draft celebration at a place down the street.
Yeah, there was. Used to go home smelling like a perfume counter.
Mm-hmm.
I was never smart enough to bring another shirt. It's or go somewhere and take a shower. I don't know. It always used to get in trouble for
Let's
that.
do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
The New Heights podcast is already extremely popular with Travis and Jason Kelsey. And it's, I don't know what records are in that world, but I imagine they're all about to be shattered because somehow Travis convinced his girlfriend to come on the podcast. And she even did a teaser video for it.
So I wanted to show you something.
Okay. What do we got?
We got
a briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
TS12.
Yeah.
That's fun. Now, I think they do their podcast on Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So I guess that's when that whole thing will break. But you talk about, that podcast is already popular as hell. Can you imagine all the Swifties? They're going to be listening to that podcast?
Well, in one of the other promos they did, she even drops the F word in there that she's going to do a effing podcast. And, teasing, it's good for them on getting the scoop. And, the Kimmels of the world and Fallon or wherever she normally goes, they've got to be a little upset they're not getting this scoop. But it was amazing to me yesterday seeing the number of people that I didn't know were Swifties sharing that on their socials. And then, of course, those that are Swifties just so excited. And
well, who didn't you know was a Swiftie?
Oh, you.
Me? I've got a drop there. I'm a Swiftie. That's well known.
A.J. Hoffman. I don't know.
I'm proud of you. You didn't reveal.
I didn't reveal what?
Who the Swiftie is.
You don't think it's A.J.?
AJ may be. He's a weird dude. So
it just it's going to be incredible. And another studio album for her. It's here we go. And does that mean there's going to be another tour? And will that tour come to San Antonio?
Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, I bet it'll go to Kansas City.
I can almost guarantee it.
I would imagine it will go to Kansas City.
But would she actually do a tour during football season?
Well, I would hope not. That would kind of suck.
Well, Travis is busy. She's got to get out of the house.
Yeah, but Travis is kind of like her roadie, isn't he? I'd be your roadie. I'm just saying. She pays her truck drivers $100,000 bonus each.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
But again, she could have a Saturday night show and still make all the Sunday games. But if there's a new album, there's got to be a new tour. That's kind of how it works.
Well, I'm sure she would.
She's smart in the business world. She's got a new album. She hasn't announced a release date yet, but you can almost bet that the release date and the tour announcement to soon follow. And Pledge is all ready to add new music to the rotation that we have. He's got his whole Taylor Swift page over there because he is a Swiftie.
He's a Swiftie.
He's a Swiftie.
I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a Swiftie.
I've seen her in concert a couple times. She puts on a hell of a show.
I've never done that, but I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard she puts on a hell of a show.
Although This when she was young, and my kid had to go, but
my kids have seen her. I just never was dragged along.
Because you're that guy.
Well, yeah, I am that guy.
You kids go have fun.
Yeah.
Here's the credit card. Enjoy.
I had to go see the Justin Bieber movie, and that was that was very entertaining. I will say it wasn't horrible.
Oh, sure.
So typically, when you lose a bet, Minix, how do you pay it off? In cash, in person?
Depends on who I'm betting. If it's a device, it's already taken care of. Otherwise, cash, or you send money. I use Zelle, not Venmo, because I don't have Venmo. And if I need to Venmo somebody, my daughter will do it for me.
All right. Well, Oklahoma's new quarterback, John Mateer, is being accused of gambling, which is against the rules. You can't do that. And he got caught red-handed, it looks like, it appears, although he's denying it, because he sent some money to a guy and said that was for USC, UCLA.
Well, there were a couple of bets on there, and he wrote in the notes, sports gambling. Very clear. Now, John Mateer on Twitter 2 hours ago posted, the allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. I have never bet on sports. I understand the seriousness of the matter, but recognize that taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling. Really well written by somebody on Oklahoma's PR staff. I'm going to take a flyer. His name is Josh Poteet. I'm looking at this going there. Nobody's going to believe this either.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear. UCLA, USC bet or gambling debt or something to that effect. I mean, that's just dumb on the face of it. Just use the emoji. That's what I do. You use an emoji. It changes every day, so you can't catch me.
Well, and again, you write sports gambling. Tell me if you write sports gambling, what's the inside joke? And then you name the game. But what are we just supposed to, NCAA is going to get them go, okay, John, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, something's going to happen to this kid. And, boy, not that I really give a damn about Oklahoma football, but that's certainly going to hurt them because they were excited. This guy's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And excited. They had a horrible year last year, and it could have been a lot better this year. But this kid might not even be playing. And who knows?
And the reality, and I'm reading something that he grew up about an hour from a casino, Choctaw. So if that's true, and he would have been a freshman at Washington State at the time, which would also make it illegal.
Yes.
But we'll just take him for his word. Sports gambling, November 20, 2022. And other people have looked it up. USC and UCLA played that day. Just saying.
Well, sure. That's easy to find. That's just, he was a freshman. Freshmen are a little bit cuckoo. They just are. It comes with the territory. Whether it's high school or college, you're just kind of goofy when you're a freshman.
Hey, man,
I don't know what it is.
The only thing he didn't do here is blame his translator.
Well, some guys do that. One guy that by the name of Shohei Ohtani, who is being, I don't know if he's being sued.
Well, there's a big
accused
lawsuit
of it, yeah.
And again, Shohei's going to probably say I had nothing to do with this either, but his business agent, there's some fancy resort getting built in Hawaii, and they are going to pay Shohei a lot of money to be able to use his name and likeness to market the place and give him a house or whatever. And apparently kept asking for more and more, and then eventually had the developer, removed from the project, so he's getting sued for $240 million. Had nothing to do with gambling, but it just seems like another kind of seedy, scammy kind of BS thing from a guy that seems well-liked and put together.
Yeah, it really does.
And at some point, because I'm going to guess he didn't know anything about this, and this was all the business manager, kind of like he didn't know anything about the gambling. So now you got to question who he has in his inner circle.
Well, that's true. Now, reading a thing here, Padres burner, and I'm not sure who this is. It comes from the Japan News, but it says this case is about abuse of power, the lawsuit says. They use threats and baseless legal claims to force a business partner to betray its contractual obligations and strip plaintiffs of the very project they conceived and built. That sounds like a made-for-TV movie, doesn't it? It really does. Well, we'll see. Shohei.
Although, if you've got the cash, you could be his neighbor, or at least live in the same neighborhood. I'm sure he'll spend a couple of days there every year.
Well, I would think so, but, I mean, I'm a pretty swanky place.
Well, you could afford it.
No, I can't. Now, maybe you can. You're not paying your daughter's rent anymore.
I don't think that her rent would cover their HOA fees.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Interesting story real quick. As they're cleaning up the devastation there in Kerrville and Hunt and were devastated by the Guadalupe River flood, they've found dinosaur footprints as they're cleaning this up. I find that fascinating.
It is, because I guess a lot of the sediment stuff has been washed away, and they're revealing tracks. And there's pictures of this if you look it up, and it's a claw, it's a foot, it's a dinosaur foot. Dude's got his foot in that print, and well, it looks like Godzilla to me. Well, I mean, it is kind of cool. No surprise, there were dinosaurs here. How about that? I just find that fascinating when I saw that story. I thought, wow, that's just crazy. Who knows? Yeah, it's almost as crazy as some guy getting drunk, butt-ass naked, and walking around a resort somewhere. Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, no. I'm kind of thinking, well, the problem is the dude's a pilot. Why is that a problem? Are pilots not allowed to have fun? Well, I would think they should be able to blow off a little steam. He wasn't scheduled to fly until 36 hours later. Yeah, it's plenty of time to sleep it off. Well, I mean, spicy and naked. I mean, well, he was naked. I don't know how spicy he was, but he was naked. Apparently spent all night in the hotel bar or the whatever, and was obviously pretty loopy. But, yeah, we're just walking around the resort naked. Just having a good time. I mean, I guess the resort probably frowned upon that. Well, maybe. But they benched him. The airline benched him. From something called EasyJet. I've never heard of EasyJet. I haven't either, but that just sounds like it's Frontier and Spirit related. Well, it's a budget airline, according to this. And so some guy that works for EasyJet was drunk and naked at a resort. And there was flying, to tell me if you ever heard this. He was going to Gatwick. Now, where the hell is that? I don't know. Gatwick. I mean, the dude's got 36 hours to sober up and get dressed. I mean, I'm guessing from a military standard, unbecoming of an officer. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It's over in London. That's unbelievable. London Airport. Yep. This whole project, EasyJet. This whole Project Marvel thing is really starting to take some legs, is it not? Yep. By the way, we've got District 10 Councilman Mark White, who will join us at 4:35 coming up here on the Blitz. We've reached out to the mayor, Ortiz Jones, and also Peter Holt. We've reached out to him as well. But so far, Mark White is the only one that has responded and will come on and tell us what he thinks about this whole Project Marvel. But we'll talk a little bit about it when we come back because, well, Jason and I have some thoughts on this thing. You got thoughts, don't you? Yeah, I do. Okay, we'll do that. We'll return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, kind of like that old pilot, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, and, you know, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, do you know the best way to do that? Call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747. Or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up. I want winners. Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off. I like this kind of party! From AARP and 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back, and we are ready to cross the state of Texas to bring the best hunting show to a city near you. The Hunters Extravaganza is a great event for the whole family. We have the latest and greatest the hunting world has to offer, from products to hunts, and feature seminars with Dr. Deer, Gary Robertson, and more. Come enjoy attractions like rattlesnakes, gator country, a fish tank, and many more. Join us in San Antonio for the Hunters Extravaganza. Get tickets at ttha.com. Brought to you by the Texas Trophy Hunters Association.
Hello.
I didn't make it into medical school, Dad. I didn't have an A in all my subjects, so I can't get in.
What do you mean, all these years I supported you, all the money I poured into your education, you don't get all A's? What was your bad subject? Chemistry, physiology, what?
No, Dad, spelling.
Spelling?
Yeah.
What, was it some funny microorganisms you couldn't spell or what?
No, kinetico.
Kinetico? You mean the water conditioner that uses no electricity? Are you kidding? Everybody knows how to spell Kinetico.
Not me.
Everybody knows Kinetico is the water conditioning company that revolutionized the water industry.
Sorry, Dad.
Everybody knows that Kinetico is spelled Kinetico.
I thought the instructor said Connecticut.
Oh, son, you should have remembered kinetic as in kinetic energy with an O on the end. Kinetico.
Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
ConnecticalSA.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
More fiber and laxatives, eh?
Who are you?
I'm future you.
Future me?
Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll have a fully operational Death Star, fully manned and ready to attack. Is Micah a new cowboy? And Project Marvel better be moving on. And oh my goodness, college football. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, make plans this Thursday to be at Retama Park from 2 to 6. Jason and I will be broadcasting the Blitz live. It's the last weekend of quarter horse racing season at Retama Park, and then Saturday night, make plans for this. The Weenie Dogs are racing for big prizes. Man, that'd be fun. I love wieners. Well, especially if my dog comes in first.
Anything you can bet on.
That's right. You bet on the Weenie Dogs. Now, see, I used to go to dog races a lot. They used to have a track in Corpus Christi. Yep. And the one that poops is going to win. That's the one you bet on right before the race. So, if you're going out to Retama Park, and you should, to see the Weenie Dogs race on Saturday night, watch for the pooper. That's the one you bet on.
So dog wearing number 2?
Well, it could be wearing number 2. Could be wearing number 10. Doesn't matter. If he poops.
He is gadget juice.
Exactly. Right there. See, he loses all that weight. And doesn't have anything to weigh him down.
It's a wiener dog. How much weight is he actually losing?
Well, just think about it. If you lose a couple of poops, then you're that much leaner.
A couple of poops.
You're that much leaner.
What scale are you looking at?
I'm just saying it works, Minix. Trust me. It works. Used to win all the time using that method. You get out there as they're lining up. Oh, there he is. Number 5.
Uh-huh.
Just relieved himself.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of a crappy topic, let's dive into Project Marvel because it's gotten messy down at City Hall since the new mayor has taken over. The idea of Project Marvel, and we talked about this a lot yesterday, and just in our YouTube chat alone, and you can go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube chat and read what's in there. The idea of misinformation that is out there is not just talk. It is true. And I like to think that for the most part, we have some very smart listeners. Now, some of your comments prove that theory wrong, but that's why I say for the most part, we have some very smart listeners. But there is a lot of misinformation out there. And what I find very alarming is some of that misinformation is coming from people that should know.
Like the mayor.
Like the mayor. And now I realize the mayor's playing politics because she's obviously a highly intelligent lady. She is smart. She's been very successful. She's now the mayor. You look at her resume. So I've just got to believe she's playing political football here for whatever reason. But trying to get somebody on to explain what is going on has become a bit of a challenge. Now, we do have Councilman Mark White is going to join us at 4:35. Now, we've reached out to the Spurs. We've asked for Peter Holt or RC or anybody that can come on and talk from the Spurs side. Crickets. We've reached out to the mayor, have not heard anything back. We've reached out to a couple other people, and to this point, Mark White is the only one that's coming on. Because just trying to figure out where are we right now. You know, the idea of wanting to put everything on a pause just seems dumb to me. But can't we do whatever study she wants done to double-check the work that's already been done? And that's the part that I don't get. I know the mayor changed, but all the people that have done all the work for months and months and months are still in place with their city jobs, including the city manager, Eric Walsh, right?
Yeah, this is kind of his project to begin with anyway. Now, I know Mayor Nuremberg had a lot to do with it and seemed on board with it before he was term limited out, and that's why we have a new mayor now. But look, I find it baffling. I really do, because you talk about progress, and I know there's a lot of people, and the biggest problem is that misinformation you were talking about, and that's what's baffling and frustrating, to be totally honest with you, because people just put things out, and it's just not accurate. There was a comment on our YouTube page yesterday talking about, property taxes and this. This has nothing to do with property taxes. Not one single penny will come or will raise your property taxes because of this project, because it can't. I mean, it's impossible to do it. So it's either the hotel, motel tax, rental car. That's where the Bexar County monies would come from. And as far as the city of San Antonio, it's money that is allocated from the state of Texas for certain projects. And it can only go to those projects. You can't take that money and use it on housing or homeless people or you can't. It's impossible. You can't do it.
And if it's not used in San Antonio for this project, for Project Marvel, then it could be used in Austin as they are working on expanding their convention center. It could be used in Dallas as they're working on expanding their convention center. It could be used in Lubbock or San Angelo or Corpus or wherever. This money is earmarked for projects, for venue projects like this. For San Antonio, this seems like such a fair deal, with the Spurs committing the amount of money, damn near $1 billion to this project. You compare that to the new arena being built by the Oklahoma City area. Their city is ponying up, what is their
95% of it.
Yeah, 95%. And that's with a city tax.
Sales tax, yes.
But their arena, which is going to be about $1 billion, I think $900 million and change, but 95% of that is publicly funded off of a sales tax.
Sales tax.
Right?
Yes.
That's not what's happening in San Antonio. The idea and the argument, and I think it is fair, when Frost Bank Center was built, then called the SBC Center, there were promises made for an area, and those promises weren't kept. But I think as soon as that was happening, I think everybody knew that this ain't going to happen. But keep in mind, the city and the county couldn't come together on an agreement for where that new arena was going to be built. Remember all the Longhorn Quarry talk, downtown talk, all of this kind of, and nobody could get on the same page. And then Bexar County said, well, we've got this land over here, and that's why it's part of the rodeo, and that saved the Spurs then, right? Now you look at, you could talk about the empty promises, but if you believed that, that's a little bit more on you. Now, the other argument that you hear a lot of is this is another arena for the Spurs, and that's not really true either. The only arena that the community has ever built for the San Antonio Spurs is the one that they currently play in. The Alamo Dome was not built for the Spurs.
No, it wasn't.
They were in a hemisphere, and then they tore a hemisphere down and said, go play in the Dome for a little while. That was never a long-term solution.
No, it was supposed to be for events as like the Final Four, and there was always that hope for an NFL football team, which we had for about a half a second.
And the Alamo Dome has been great for San Antonio.
It has.
And generates a lot of revenue for San Antonio. But Hemisphere Arena was already here when the Spurs showed up. The Alamo Dome was not built for the Spurs, right? So it's not like the third arena, and I hear that a lot too. Factually, the Alamo Dome was never built or meant to house the San Antonio Spurs.
No, and it was the worst arena in the NBA at the time. Though there were some good things about it. Obviously, you put more people in there, and the catering for the media was much better there too. But I digress. It was good. I'm just saying it was not a good place for NBA basketball. It just was not. And so the Spurs wanted their own home, and they got it in the form of the Frost Bank Center. But I'm going to tell you what, even back then, Jason, and you know this as well as I do, and anybody else that was around at that time, politics screwed that up then.
Yep.
Because that's why it ended up where it ended up, because the politicians could not get their act together and decide on a place and get it done in a place that would have been certainly easier to get to and more favorable for businesses and other things. And so, again, are we going to let politicians screw this up?
Well, again, as a resident, as a taxpayer, I am for this. I think that's pretty clear. But I wasn't 100% on board until I saw what the Spurs were going to contribute, right? The other part of it, too, is does it seem like a fair deal for everybody? With the Spurs committing the amount of money that they are, I don't understand why we're playing politics. And again, I just had a buddy in town from Kansas City, and you see how difficult it is for the Chiefs to get a new stadium, and they've been winning a lot. Their popularity is incredible. That stadium is they definitely need to move, but are they going to stay where they are? Are they going to go to a different part to go to the Kansas side? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening in Kansas City because their politicians can't get on the same page. And I was talking about that with my buddy over the weekend when he was in town, and he was just like, my goodness, it's just nasty. But the threat of leaving is there. Peter J. Holt can say all he wants to say. And I know he is committed, and he's putting $1 billion towards it. But there's a lot of people that are part of that ownership group now with the San Antonio Spurs. And I know Peter J. Holt still has the majority, but there's a lot of influential people that sit on that board.
There's no doubt. And look, if you're on the fence of this thing, or even if you're against it, just get educated about where the money's coming from, and don't just let somebody tell you that it could go here, it could go there, it could go elsewhere, because that's not the case. And if somebody's telling you that, they're not being honest with you. So just get educated about it before you stand out and picket with a sign, or you just tell all your friends that you're against this thing because, well, we're for billionaires to make more. That's just absolutely ludicrous, completely. So just get educated. That's all I'm saying. Then you go and you decide what you want on your own, but do it because you're educated about what's happening and the real deal.
And we are trying to find the right people to bring on to educate us all. I'm being told now that Councilman White confirmed for today, which you already knew, working on the mayor and Eric Walsh for tomorrow's show.
All right. Cool. That's awesome. So we're going to try and bring it to you. You can hear from the people yourselves and then make up your own mind. That's all we want. Just be educated about it, and don't let somebody tell you something that is not factual. That's it. That's not too much to ask, is it?
No, and again, I think the next step, the way I understand it, and hopefully Councilman White can shed some facts on this, is they need to get that term sheet going, but can they get the term sheet going and approved while the mayor is getting her next economic impact study, which is probably just going to tell us everything that we already know, that I don't know, what do those things cost? $50,000, $100,000, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So we'll just waste another $50,000 or $100,000, and it's kind of like you had a good saying a minute ago.
It's like using the Farmer's Almanac to determine if you need an umbrella today.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a forecast.
It's just like that.
You're not, from what I've read and trying to understand about these economic impact studies, you don't set your budgets on those. They give you an idea, but that's not how you figure out what your ROI is.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, ROI.
Return on investment.
Businessman now, huh? All right.
I'm learning.
Look at this.
I'm trying to learn.
Minix,
trying to learn. 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. You can call in. You can tweet, comment on YouTube. Fred wants to weigh in on this. What's up, Fred?
Gentlemen, thank you for taking my call. Listening to you guys every day, all morning and all day. Hey, my take it, I'm for this. I don't know what the problem is with the mayor predator. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, I did. I'm all for it. And the way she's going about it, she's getting people all riled up. She just, I don't know what her problem is. Maybe she wants money in her pockets. I have no idea. But my take on it is we need this so the Spurs don't leave. Because if they don't get what they want, they will be leaving.
You know, in a lot of ways, Fred, I mean, it's always a threat that's out there. And they're in a business to make money. Nobody ever thought the Sonics were going to leave Seattle. My wife doesn't like Oklahoma City for that reason alone.
I don't blame her. Look, they're putting $1 billion into this project.
Yeah.
It's not like we're having to foot the entire – it's unbelievable, the misinformation that is out there and being spread by people who should know better. That's for sure. If you want to chime in, please feel free, whether that's on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. You can like, subscribe, and comment there. You can also give us a call, 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know me, you listen to this show enough, you know the Roo Pub is my go-to spot. No better place to go watch any big game, any big event, any big fight than the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you get into the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic. They have the biggest and best wings in town. I love their fried shrimp, about 15 different burgers on the menu, great appetizers, great salads, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. Don't forget, every Wednesday is steak night at the Roo. A 12-ounce ribeye, your potato, your salad for $19.95. You can't beat it, and the steak is fantastic. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and steak night on Wednesday. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Golf Classic is back, baby. Get the crew together. Guys, gals, the whole gang. And join us Monday, September 29th at Olympia Hills Golf Club for a laid-back day full of swings, laughs, and a little friendly trash talk. It's just $120 per player or $400 for a foursome. A steal for a day on a beautiful course with your buddies. Proceeds benefit the Community Foundation of the Hill Country. But don't worry, this isn't a once you've conquered the course, we'll keep the party rolling at the Break Room Bar off Pat Booker Road, where the drinks are cold, the food is hot, and the stories are even better. Get ready to tee off on the best money you'll have all year. Grab your spot now at sasportstar.com.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
An accident or injury can derail your life in an instant, leaving you struggling to pay for medical bills and daily expenses. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe every Texan deserves justice, no matter their financial situation. That's why we offer our no-win, no-fee promise. You don't pay us unless we win your case. We know how difficult recovering from an accident can be. Let us handle your case while you focus on getting better. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken.
Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop.
No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. So don't wait. For this free information, call 800-422-8552. 800-422-8552. That's 800-422-8552. Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 6. The Cowboys are back home from training camp for their second preseason game, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Pre-game at 5. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's Morgan Wallen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you heard me. Morgan Wallen.
Did you whisper that in his ear?
Not at all. I'm a big fan. It's a good guy. What do you like on American Idol or something? One of those shows I think he was on. America's Got Talent. The Voice.
So you know he's from a TV show.
Well, I think that's how he kind of. A lot of guys did that.
He's the one that does the walkout with celebrities everywhere he goes, right? Isn't that Morgan Wallen?
I don't know. I know he throws chairs out of bars in Nashville.
All right.
That I know. He does that. Dude can sing, though. That's for sure.
No, he does. I mean, I wouldn't recognize his music, but I know who he is.
Well, you know, it's funny because he's featured on my Spotify playlist. And then you go, to kind of take you off. You can go Morgan Wallen Radio. And so it's kind of like music, or you can do whatever, Jelly Roll Radio or whomever.
Yeah.
And so it's my golf course music.
That's your golf course music?
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just let that baby play while I'm playing.
Slow paced.
Yeah. Well, I like it slow paced. Nice cold beer. Nice in Mother Nature. Hearing the birds chirp and watching the grass grow. It's beautiful, Minix, if you just take it in.
I'm not opposed to going to see Morgan Wallen. He was on The Voice. I like Ian Munsick. Do you know Ian Munsick?
I've heard the name.
Cody Johnson.
Yes.
You know Cody Johnson?
Absolutely. Cody Johnson. I'm a big Randy Rogers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Parker McCollum?
Yeah, Parker. My daughters were in love with that guy when he first came out. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's some country that I like.
Absolutely. Good country music. I like it. I like all kinds of country music. See, here's a name you won't know.
All right.
But one of the best voices, I think, and some of these old guys, like Fred Villarreal or Gilbert P. will understand who I'm talking about.
Calling them old guys.
Well, I'm just saying we're the old guys here in this group. They're on our YouTube page, by the way. You can also go there. Keith Whitley. Heard of Keith Whitley?
Yeah.
Dude. Awesome. I'll turn on a little Keith Whitley from time to time. Dude killed himself with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Well,
I know it's not funny now, but I mean, it's like, jeez.
Hey, bring the room down.
Well, he drank himself to death. Oh, I didn't know that there's a lot of people on our YouTube page saying Wallen uses some racial slurs. So I haven't heard that, so I don't know if that's what he's doing. Then, have you heard that?
I think I've heard that. Pledge is saying it's true, but he's seemingly overcoming because that dude's selling out major stadiums. Like he was at NRG not that long ago. In fact, we thought it was odd advertising, but at the Metallica concert, they were advertising Morgan Wallen's show.
So those people are going to, hey, honey, let's go.
I don't know if it was the next one or whatever, but I just thought, targeted audience.
Yeah.
All right.
Morgan Wallen might not be that guy.
But then again, my wife was like, huh. And again, she's at a Metallica show with me, and we go to country shows for
you went saw Lisa.
I did.
For her.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was for her or not. That was probably for you.
I had no idea. There were a lot of people. It was for me when it was over because it was a hell of a show.
Well, that's good.
And again, all those people played all their hits and played hits that weren't theirs. So everything they played was something you recognize.
Well, that's good. That's kind of old school 90s, right?
Absolutely. It was like the high school playlist at Skate World in Copper's Cove.
Skate World.
Did you not go roller skating when you were a kid?
Well, dude, in Alice, we didn't have a building. There would every now and then be like a circus. So there'd be a tent that they would set up that would have a wood floor. So that's what we had to do.
See, Copper's Cove, there's a place called Skate World, and you would go roller skating. And there was also a teen club called Pink Panther that wasn't that far from that. And then, what are you laughing at, Pledge? It's exactly what it was.
So that was a teen club?
It was it was a teen club.
Okay.
Now, Coryell
Doesn't
County.
Chapel Roan have a song about that?
Well, that's the Pink Pony Club. It's different. But if you go back and meet somebody from Copper's Cove, you with Skate World or you went to Pink Panther. Coryell County was dry, so there was no places you could go to drink. We used to have to go to Lampasas, and there was the beer barn in Lampasas that you could go to, and you could show your school ID, and they were going to give you what you wanted, which back then was Mad Dog 2020 or Bartles and James and whatever beer you could afford.
Well, Boone's Farm was popular, too.
Yeah, Strawberry Hill.
Yeah, I mean, in Alice, the 3-year-old could buy alcohol. It didn't make any difference back in those days. As long as you had money, they were selling it to you.
Yep.
Schlitz malt liquor. That's what we used to party on in Alice. The little baby bulls.
Yeah, well, that, Mickey's and Keystone.
Keystone?
Well, again, you could buy like 24 Keystones
well,
for
that's
like
true.
$3.
Lone Star was popular. We drink a lot of Lone Star. First beer was a Schlitz.
And Mad Dog 2020.
Woo, man, that's crazy back then.
Grape.
Could you leave campus in Copper's Cove, like for lunch or whatever?
Could we leave campus?
Yeah.
No.
See, we could. We could leave campus. You had like 45 minutes for lunch or whatever. You go to Dairy Queen or Pizza Hut or Pizza Inn or Dairy Burger. That was always on the agenda as well.
I mean, you said, could you leave? We couldn't leave.
Well,
we did leave.
Well, y'all, that's another story in time, but we were legally allowed to leave campus for lunch. I would leave illegally too, but legally.
Well, but we would always show up late. And we used to get Malibu rum and Tropicana twisters and put them in those 32-ounce cups from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
And first period English teacher, Mr. Pollard, never caught on to that.
Mr. Pollard. Was he an old dude or what?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember I stole a bunch of dentist appointment cards from my dentist.
Nice.
And you know, when you have braces, you always have dentist appointments, so they never. I was always gone. Always gone.
Always, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I got on our YouTube page, it's Coyote6977 says there was at Sagewood Mall. That was the name of the mall in Alice.
Really?
Yeah, and so, the circus would come to town, and they'd set up a tent there.
See, Coyote, he's probably from Alice, Texas.
Well, he must be if he knows where Sagewood Mall is. I mean, come on.
Is Sagewood Mall still there?
I don't think so. The theater was named, I think, was Sagewood Theater, too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was, and we thought that was a big deal. They had 2 screens.
2?
2 screens.
Huh.
So you could go, you had your choice of 2 movies. And if you didn't there, you'd have to go to downtown to the Rialto Theater.
See, Cove Theater had 2 screens, but we would always go to Clean Mall because they had a big theater. I forget, 10, 12 screens.
Oh, wow. See?
Yeah.
We weren't that schwanky.
See, we had the Walnut 6 back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And 6 screens, but we'd always just come to San Antonio to watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. We got 2 theaters, 2 screens. We thought we were big city boys.
You were from Alice. You knew better.
Big city boys at that time. Yes, sir. City Councilman Mark White, District 10, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, about 4:35. We're going to talk to him about Project Marvel, and interested to hear his take. I know he, I don't want to say it was an argument, but they were, he and our mayor were
debating
Project Marvel and some of the things. Debating. It's a good way to put it. It's a polite word for argument.
Politicking.
It's exactly what they were doing. I'm looking forward to talking to Mark White, so keep that in mind at 4:35. We're going to do that. And then who knows what else. Little Dallas Cowboys football. Shotty was talking today. Cowboys just wrapped up, by the way, their practice session out there in pads, and Shotty said they're going to go 2 hours tomorrow, and that'll pretty much be it for them out in the beautiful weather of Oxnard, California. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Do you need to get rid of things like furniture, mattresses, tires, and appliances? San Antonio has 4 drop-off centers for residential bulky items conveniently located around the city. Open 5 days a week except holidays. Visit sarecycles.org. This service is free for solid waste customers that pay the environmental fee on their CPS energy bill, including customers that live in apartments. Visit sarecycles.org for hours, locations, and accepted materials. That's sarecycles.org.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief-cation. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
Go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC.
License number TSAOG 141074EM16004.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back, and we are ready to cross the state of Texas to bring the best hunting show to a city near you. The Hunters Extravaganza is a great event for the whole family. We have the latest and greatest the hunting world has to offer, from products to hunts, and features seminars with Dr. Deer, Gary Robertson, and more. Come enjoy attractions like rattlesnakes, gator country, a fish tank, and many more. Join us in San Antonio for the Hunters Extravaganza. Get tickets at ttha.com. Brought to you by the Texas Trophy Hunters Association.
Hello.
I didn't make it into medical school, Dad. I didn't have an A in all my subjects, so I can't get in.
What do you mean, all these years I supported you, all the money I poured into your education, you don't get all A's? What was your bad subject? Chemistry, physiology, what?
No, Dad, spelling.
Spelling?
Yeah.
What, was it some funny microorganisms you couldn't spell or what?
No, Kinetico.
Kinetico? You mean the water conditioner that uses no electricity? Are you kidding? Everybody knows how to spell Connecticut.
Not me.
Everybody knows Connecticut is the water conditioning company that revolutionized the water industry.
Sorry, Dad.
Everybody knows that Connecticut is spelled Kinetico.
I thought the instructor said Connecticut. That
Oh,
means Coast
son,
Little
you should have
State.
remembered kinetic as in kinetic energy with an O on the end. Connecticut.
Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic, because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit. For just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop, because Macy's has back-to-school styles from brands like Nike and Jordan, must-have denim from Levi's and Good American, and now Macy's has Abercrombie Kids too. It's all in one place, all at great prices. And here's another reason to come in. If you're already at Macy's and you saved so much, you could stop by the fragrance counter and pick up something for yourself too. The best back-to-school styles are here now at Macy's.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys have wrapped up practice out in Oxnard, California. And Cowboys defensive back Deron Bland told reporters after practice today his agent has had some talks with the Cowboys, and he's hopeful to get a new contract before the start of the season. Well, the opening week slate in the NBA has been released. The Spurs will open against the Dallas Mavericks, a matchup between Wemby and Cooper Flagg. They'll also play on Christmas Day against the Thunder, 1:30 on ABC.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And it is Tuesday. A lot going on, but the fact that it's Tuesday means we're that much closer to the weekend and more NFL preseason football. And that just gets us a little closer to the regular season. We got college football starting out too. My point is, it is a beautiful time of year. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. That's Jason Minix. And I know you're as excited as I am.
Dude,
football season's here, brother.
Football is, and what I love is, especially this time of year, the people go out of town, but they're still listening. On our YouTube channel earlier, there was a guy that was working for whatever reason in Norman, Oklahoma, but still listening to us. We just got a tweet from a regular listener, Ben. He's at the beach.
Man, it looks beautiful out there, too.
But he's listening to us.
He is, and we appreciate that, Ben. Thank you.
And when I see this photo that he tweeted, and you could see it, too, at Joe Reinagel 210, at Jason Minix, that looks like Galveston. But there's nobody at that beach.
Nobody.
And Rob Thompson was telling me, because he went down to the beach Saturday, and then they came home late Monday afternoon. And he said, Saturday's down there and, or Sunday, whichever day, and like his old fraternity, those boys set up right next to him. And at first he thought he saw all these young guys, and he's like, oh, crap. And then they realized, they're from the same fraternity because, Rob's got a tattoo from whatever fraternity he's in. And so now he was like the old dog in life of the party, and Rob had a great time. And then Monday, they go back to the beach because they didn't leave till late in the afternoon. You said nobody was out there. It was
nobody.
Perfect.
Oh,
and I'm looking at that picture thinking, you got the beach to yourself.
That is fantastic. Now, obviously, Ben is in a condo or a hotel or something because it's from a distance away. But
we've met Ben. He's
probably a tent on the side of the road.
No, he's in air conditioning with a cold drink in his hand. But he can see the water.
He can see the water.
You could have the beach to yourself. Like, mentally, I'm thinking, weekday beach trip might be in order.
That's a good idea. This time of year, it's tough to do that, but who knows? Especially while the weather's still nice.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But there's nobody at that beach.
Yeah, you talk about relaxing. You just go out. There's one tent from Ben's picture that people are out there. That's it. Other than that, you could have the entire beach to yourself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
But you could tell he's looking out the window, and the window is closed.
Yeah,
that dude is in air conditioning.
Too damn hot for Ben.
Well, yeah, but the beach looks great.
It really does.
It does.
It looks great. What do you think about this news? I just mentioned it in SportsCenter. DaRon Bland. Breaking some news here that it could be close to a contract. Could happen before the start of the season.
The idea when the Cowboys first got out there, Bland had said, no talks, not worried about it. Now they're talking. Hopefully it gets done before the start of the season. It wouldn't be unlike Jerry and Steven, like they did with Jake Ferguson, to get a deal done with DaRon Bland. Because if he wants to get paid, he will. There's got to be motivation from both sides. The word hopefully quoted from Bland. He's hoping that this will get done before the start of the regular season. Nobody likes to do deals once the season gets started, but if you can get it done now, and if you're DaRon Bland, 2 years ago, you had, 6 pick sixes? Last year was a good year, but some injuries. When he was drafted, did that guy ever think he'd get a major contract? Maybe he did, but nobody else did, right? He has performed well above his expectation. He deserves to get paid. I also wonder if that means the end is near for one Diggs, because can you have 2 high-priced corners in that secondary, knowing that you're still going to pay Micah Parsons?
Now, I don't know what the going rate is for cornerbacks these days. I know Diggs got a hell of a contract. What was it, 4 years, $80 million, something like that, $80+ million. I know it was up there, and it was a big contract at the time. Bland, does he get something like that? I mean, that's a hell of a contract, and I'm not sure. But again, and I think what Jerry and Steven mean, if you want to get paid, you can get paid as long as it's not outrageous. It's got to be, there's got to be some give and take, and maybe more of a team-friendly type of deal. Jake Ferguson certainly did that. I mean, I don't feel bad for Jake Ferguson, but I don't know if that's one of those contracts with $23 million guaranteed.
Well, and again, Jake Ferguson said he didn't want to go anywhere else. He talked about it. What's the market, all that. He wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, and he took a fair deal. If DaRon Bland doesn't want to go anywhere else, doesn't want to test free agency, he's comfortable. And for a lot of guys, and I don't know what his personal life is like, but if your wife likes Dallas and doesn't want to move, if you've got kids and they've got a friend group, these guys are too young to worry about the kids and their friend group, but those kind of things do factor in. I mean, I'm trying to remember the player, but after he signed with the Cowboys, his whole family essentially moved to Dallas, and that was his support system. His mom and dad helping with things, a sibling, I can't remember if it was brother or sister, but he was like, dude, we're not moving. I mean, because all of them uprooted their lives to move to Dallas to help him, and if he goes somewhere else, they're likely to move too. All those things do factor in.
Sure. We forget about that part of it, that these guys have families A lot of them married with kids, and some of them just, family members, moms, brothers, sisters, or whatever that do come with them. Look, and they're worse places to live than one of those suburbs there in Dallas. I mean, seriously, no matter where you're from. So it's not a bad place. But we'll see if Deron wants to get paid and what those numbers look like. My question is, if Deron Bland and Jake Ferguson both get extensions, because my understanding is they're both in the same boat, or all three of them in the same boat, I believe. So what kind of a message does that send, if any, to a Micah Parsons?
Micah could take that a lot of different ways. But the reality is there are a lot of guys that need new contracts that play for every NFL team, including the Dallas Cowboys. And business is still going to go on, and it doesn't mean that they're prioritizing a Jake Ferguson or Deron Bland over a Micah Parsons. Now,
just the money's a hell of a lot less.
And again, Micah's deal, not if, because we all know it's going to happen. But it's not like the Cowboys can't do any other business until the Micah deal is done. I remember, I forget who the player was. We were all expecting a big deal, and a press conference was called, and they trot out Jalen Smith, and he had signed a new deal, and we all went, what the hell are you doing? That's not what we were expecting. But, and that's pretty typical of the Cowboys, but other business can get done. They are working on other contracts, and again, you have the conversation. If it seems like it's going somewhere, then you work on it. But just a couple of weeks ago, Bland said no contract talks had happened. They've happened out there, and now he's hoping to get a deal done before the start of the regular season, according to all the Dallas media, from what he said after practice about 10 minutes ago.
Yep, said that they're talking, and he's hopeful to get one done before the start of the regular season, which is incredible to me. That, again, I guess, you look at Jerry and Steven, and not that this is a kudos for them, but if you're a willing participant in all of this, stuff can get done. But I find it interesting that Deron Bland says, yeah, they're talking to my agent.
Well,
did they not like David Mulligetta? I mean, I'm just wondering.
They talk to agents. And no offense to Deron Bland, but I don't know if you get the conversation with Jerry the way a Micah Parsons is going to get the conversation with Jerry, or a Dak Prescott, because of the amount of money and the differences there. Jerry's not talking to his agent.
No.
Jerry doesn't talk to any agent, and that's fine. They've got people in the building that do. So sometimes you have to take what is said and then figure out what the reality is. Jerry can say he doesn't talk to agents, and that's true. That doesn't mean the Cowboys organization isn't talking with an agent. It's just not Jerry.
Well, and let's look at it from this perspective, too. When you're talking about the defensive backfield for the Dallas Cowboys is very thin.
Yeah.
So you sign a guy like that's more of a priority in my mind, at least at this moment in time, that you make Deron Bland happy. Look, the Cowboys, whether you think they're obviously not as good as Micah Parsons, and I'm not suggesting that they are, but the Cowboys have a lot of pass rushers in camp. Now, will they become a Micah Parsons-like pass rusher? Who knows? Maybe not. But I'm just saying, I think if you're looking at a priority and an urgency, it's more defensive back right now than it is pass rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely it is. Because you've got guys that, look, if Micah doesn't play, you're not going to be struggling to fill that spot. Now, will it be as good as Micah Parsons? No. But you will have a guy there that has a lot of promise that can get the job done. Defensive back is a big problem for the Cowboys depth-wise.
It's my biggest concern. Corners, offensive line. The two biggest concerns. Offensive line, young, but they're a little beat up right now. I'm worried about the depth. Secondary, all kinds of injury issues. That's the biggest. And again, I'm waiting for Stephon Gilmore to show up. Somebody. And I like the way Gilmore played when he was with the Cowboys. But I'm with you. Make this dude happy. Why not?
Well, I mean, you need a guy, and especially if Trayvon Diggs is not in your future plans, whether he is or not, who knows? But it seems like there's some tension there as well when it comes to Trayvon Diggs. don't know. Mark White, District 10 Councilman, will join us here on the Blitz in about 20 minutes or so, 4:35. We're going to talk to him about Project Marvel and the latest that's going on there. Can't wait to talk to him about that. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll do it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And while we've got NFL preseason going on, we still got a lot of Major League Baseball, and you want to have some fun watching baseball, make sure you're playing the Pick'em game on Underdog. One of the leading places to make all your sports picks. You can play in Texas. Over 100,000 five-star reviews. And all you have to do is predict higher or lower on stats like home runs, strikeouts, total bases, that sort of thing. Nothing like watching a game and, somebody, like last night with the Astros Red Sox, turning green, getting hits. That was a good game for Pick'em last night. Play for as little as $1. You could win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app. Sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 6. The Cowboys are back home from training camp for their second preseason game, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Pre-game at 5. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Sarah. Heard about your car accident. You okay?
Well, let's see. My car's toast, my neck's a pretzel, and the insurance guy ghosted me faster than my ex. So, peachy.
Remind me why you haven't called Thomas J. Henry Law yet?
Calling an attorney is weird to me.
Yeah, you should totally trust insurance, who profits from underpaying you.
I'm picking up on your sarcasm.
You need to pick up the phone and dial Thomas J. Henry Law.
Car accident? Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com today. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal Office, San Antonio.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Does RexMD really work?
Over 85% of guys said not only does it work, they saw results the very first night. And you can get your first month free at freerexmd.com with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit freerexmd.com to get your first month free. That's FREEREXMD.com.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
George gets justice. The accident wasn't your fault, but now you're facing pain, bills, and uncertainty. You don't have to do it alone. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, they listen, explain your options, and fight for what you deserve. No upfront costs, no stress, just real help when you need it. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll have a fully operational Death Star, fully manned and ready to attack. Is Micah a new cowboy? And Project Marvel better be moving on. And oh my goodness, college football. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And, of course, all of you guys are the stars of this show, and we appreciate you joining us. However you're doing that this afternoon, if you're on our YouTube page, San Antonio Sports Star, please like and subscribe there. You can comment there on whatever we're talking about. On Twitter, at Jason Minix, at Joe Reinagle 210, or you can just give us a call the old-fashioned way, 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN. However you want to talk to us, you're more than welcome to do so.
Now, you mentioned Morgan Wallen earlier. You're not going to introduce this band?
I wasn't even listening, man. I was doing my job.
Well, I mean, come on. Part of your job is listening.
I don't know.
You don't know this?
Well, I probably do, but I don't recognize the song. Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
You and Pledge always look at me like,
This was released 34 years ago today.
Coincidentally, how many times he's seen them in concert?
26. Not quite 34.
Metallica, huh? All right.
Pledge just sent that to me. This was released 34 years ago in 1991, which means, good Lord.
Been around a while.
I'm trying to think. I went to boot camp in June of 91. I think I got to my ship in September of 91. I don't feel like that was 34 years ago, but apparently it was.
Time flies, brother.
Dude.
I'm telling you.
I mean, well, it's that time of year where, like, all these people are posting their kids' back-to-school pictures, which I appreciate. I miss those days. And so many of them, so-and-so in the second grade, where is time going? Like, dude, you have no idea.
You really miss those days?
With the back-to-school pictures?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I made Erica send me a picture of her first day at work with the real big girl job because you're going to pay your own rent day.
Dude, I got pissed off this morning driving to the gym. Well, where's all the traffic? What the hell's going on?
School.
And then so I got there, as the school started, I went,
yeah.
Gee.
Oh, did it take you an extra 2 minutes?
No, it took a long time. A lot of damn construction I got to deal with every day.
And now traffic from the schools. And everybody with their back-to-school pictures.
Goodness, I don't mind other people doing that. That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it at all.
I don't miss those days. But if other people are having fun with, send them on. I'll go, oh, that's cute.
Just enjoy it because you're right. It goes by in a blink of an eye.
It does.
It does. And it's not the pictures of your kids that are making me go, where does time go? It's that album, which had such an influence on my life, was 34 years ago. Good Lord.
That's incredible. But you continue to follow them and go see them. You're like my brother and sister-in-law. Like they're planning a trip to Vegas in February to go see Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what they're like with Def Leppard, like you are with Metallica.
Yep. Dude, and Metallica might play the Sphere. There's
That'd
all
be
those
cool.
rumors.
What is it, the Backstreet Boys doing that right now?
Yeah.
Somebody like that's doing the Sphere. Got a deal there.
And then
I do want to go to the Sphere. I've never been there, so I want to do that.
You need to.
Yeah,
we'll take
I
you
gotta
to
do
your
that.
first Metallica show at the Sphere.
I'll be okay with that. That's fine. I got no problem with
You
that.
wouldn't recognize a song in there, but you'd just be watching all the videos.
I know Sandman.
Yeah?
So I'd be happy at the end.
Yeah.
I know that one.
You act like he's going to leave the tables.
When you spend the money that it takes to go see Metallica, you would leave the table.
Yeah.
That becomes the priority.
Especially at the Sphere. I'm sure they won't be cheap there.
No.
for
I
sure.
think about what I spent to go see you too.
Jeez.
What?
U2.
U2 at the Sphere. They were the first
yeah.
band to play there.
That's right. They were. Yeah. Okay. Well, I definitely, that's on the bucket list. You know what else is going to be expensive is Micah Parsons. It's going to be expensive.
It is?
Yeah. A lot more expensive than, say, I don't know, Emmett Smith back in the day.
But Emitt back in the day when he signed, which in 1993 was 32 years ago.
Wow.
At the time, the highest paid running back. Now, Emmitt Smith was at the blue carpet premiere of the Jerry Netflix special they had last night in Hollywood. Big deal last night in Hollywood. But Emitt said, what you guys need to quit doing is comparing me and Micah.
I keep trying to tell people there's a marketing play, right? And then there's a reality play, right? The reality play is, and I'm gonna tell folks, so the media should have never called me a holdout, right? Because I didn't have a contract. Right. If I take your contract from you right now from the place you work, you can't come back in the building. They taking your key card and everything else. You can't come back in the building, right. And you have no job there. But if I give you a job and you get a key fob, you can come into the building. Right. My contract ended. Right. I didn't have no more obligations to the Dallas Cowboys. I was out there in the wind as a free agent for 30 days until those 30 days closed. Then I only can talk to one team. I lost leverage. And that's what Micah Parsons is at right now. It's not having enough leverage. And so, but he also has another year on his contract. So there's a distinct difference between a holdout and being truly a free agent. So the NFL did a good job of branding that moniker on me with the public. So everybody brings it up in that context. But I'm here to set the record straight. I'm only one man. I'm only one man that can set it straight because y'all got multiple voices. You talk every day of the week. You interview folks, and you regurgitate the same old bullshit. I just tell you the real. Right. So let's be honest. There's not a distinct difference between the two. The only difference is I didn't sign until 2 games in. Right. That's the only difference. And so it is what it is. I just hope Parsons get his deal done. Because for me, it's more important to have all this business stuff behind you. So the team itself can start to do the things that they came here to do. They came to training camp to work on what? Come together as a team. Forging the hood as a brotherhood. Building the chemistry that they need to build. And that, all the other distractions need to be gone. So you can focus on what you need to focus on.
One of my favorite all-time Dallas Cowboys, Emmitt Smith.
Yep.
Love that guy. I love interviewing that guy as well. So, yeah, he makes a good point because you and I both looked at I thought he held out, but he didn't.
And again, the rules were different then. In some ways, I guess he was a free agent. His key card didn't work. They had key cards back then?
I have regular keys back then.
But also, he wasn't a true free agent. He could only negotiate with one team. Cowboys lost their first 2 games, and Jerry made him a rich man.
Then they actually won a Super Bowl.
And then they won a Super Bowl.
Jerry mentioned that a few times. So I think, is he trying to recreate history? Micah can miss the first 2 games. We'll sign him, and then we'll go win a Super Bowl.
I mean, wake up. Although they were in La La Land last night, and Jerry said something that he has said before. The Cowboys always need to be top of the news.
I do believe if we're not being looked at, then I'll do my part to get us looked at. The Cowboys are a soap opera 365 days.
The stream will begin.
When it gets slow, I'll stir it up.
Please take your seats.
And so it's wonderful to have the great athletes, have the great players, but there's something more there. There's sizzle, there's emotion, and if you will, there's controversy. That controversy is good stuff in terms of keeping and having people's attention.
And you're causing a lot of it right now, and you always do. He's the ringleader. I tell you, this guy could have been P.T. Barnum. I mean, he would have been a perfect circus guy.
P.T. Barnum was the manager for Elvis, right? Same kind of thing. There are guys out there that just know how to market, create stars, or create, in this case, headlines, earned media. You know, Bill Barnwell on ESPN.com has a very detailed article about the way the Cowboys do business, which I think we all believe is wrong, and how much money it has cost them compared to the way 31 other teams do it. Cowboys have their reason, but Barnwell, his rough estimate is the Cowboys probably cost themselves $84 million in how they've done business over the years.
Does Jerry care? His franchise is worth over $10 billion. Mm-hmm. It's the highest valued franchise in professional sports, all of them.
Yep.
So I'm not sure Jerry gives a damn about $88 million. No, honestly, it's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But if you're Jerry Jones, guess what? You're talking about us.
He's got $100 million in free publicity for his team.
There's no question about it. No question about it. All right, we need to take a break because we have a special guest coming up, Mark White, District 10 City Councilman. He will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Want to talk to you, though, about my Connecticut Quality Water Softener. I absolutely love this thing. If you listen to the show any at all, you know that I've been bragging about this thing for some time now, and I'm still going to brag about it because I just appreciate it every single day, whether that's getting out of the shower, feeling cleaner, the clothes are cleaner, the dishes are cleaner, and all of that while saving all of my appliances as well from the very hard water that we have here in San Antonio and South Texas. This thing is the absolute best in the business, and it's not even close. All of them are made in America, and what I love about it is you don't plug the thing in. It does not run on electricity. It runs on that kinetic energy. Either way, doesn't matter to me what it runs on. I know it provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is a fantastic product. You really need to treat your family and your home, your biggest investment. This will help protect that biggest investment. And right now, they still got this going on. Don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. When you buy a Connecticut Quality Water Softener, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right there at your kitchen sink. Also give you $400 off of your old water softener. You give that to them, they'll take $400 off the Connecticut water softener. And free money. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. That's incredible. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. You don't want to wait. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country. The numbers to call, 656-PURE, 210-656-7873, or you can get them online at connecticutsa.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is calling all golfers. The Fall Golf Classic is back. Mark your calendars for Monday, September 29th, and lock in your spot for one of the most fun golf events of the year at the Olympia Hills Golf Club. For just $120 per player, or $400 for a foursome, you'll get 18 holes of fun, friendly competition, and non-stop laps with your crew. But don't wait. Spots will sell out fast. And once they're gone, they're gone. This isn't your average uptight tournament. It's all about cutting loose, enjoying the day, and supporting a great cause. The Community Foundation of the Hill Country. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Charm Club, and sponsored by Fly by Yingling and PPL Motorhomes. And when the final putt drops, the party's just getting started. Head over to the Break Room Bar on Pat Booker Road for the official after party. Cold drinks, great food, and the perfect finish to a perfect day. Don't get left out. Grab your crew, grab your clubs, and get ready for a Monday you won't forget. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up.
I want winners.
Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys!
It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off.
I like this kind of party!
From AARP and 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Been talking a lot about Project Marvel. It is in the news, and everybody's talking about it right now. So we wanted to find out what's happening down at City Hall here in San Antonio. So we've got a special guest.
Yeah, we do. Mark White from District 10, City Councilman, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jay Semenix. Councilman White, appreciate you taking the time. What we really want to do is figure out what is actually going on, as we all seem to decipher through the misinformation that is out there.
Yeah, you are exactly right. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so thank you so much for having me on so I can maybe provide some clarity for your listeners.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I guess the first and foremost, what's the holdup right now, or is there a holdup? Where do we stand right now with this whole thing?
Yeah, so there is no holdup. The plan, as we heard last week from City Council, the majority of City Council says we need to move forward now with negotiations with the Spurs. And I can tell you that over the last couple of days, the negotiations have been ongoing because we are working towards a term sheet that City Council will vote on. And let me tell you why that's so important. The county has already called the venue tax election for November. That election in November is going to determine whether or not this proposed new Spurs arena moves forward. So the citizens are going to get to make the decision in November. We as the City Council, all we're going to do is approve a term sheet so that the citizens have all the information on what exactly the deal is before they go to the polls in November. This is about transparency. The citizens need to know exactly what they're voting for in November. So that's what we're working on right now, and I hope that there's going to be a City Council vote before the end of the month.
Mark White, District 10 City Councilman, joining us here on the Blitz. Now, the mayor wants some sort of pause and to do another economic impact study, which has already been done. Can you guys on City Council work on the term sheet and negotiate? Because I guess the term sheet is needed for a negotiation while a new economic impact study is going on. Do we need this pause that she is asking for?
You're right on it. No, we do not need the pause. The mayor's call for delay is really misguided. We need to get the term sheet in place, which we will. And if council wants another economic impact analysis, well, just like you say, we can still get the additional economic impact analysis, and it'll be done, I would imagine, at some point in the beginning of next year. And remember, there's going to be another vote, right? Because the infrastructure piece of the puzzle has to get into place as well, and that's going to be in May of next year. So if the mayor and a majority of council wants an additional economic impact analysis, we can certainly do that, but that should not slow up negotiations and the vote on the term sheet.
All right, Councilman, let me, just so I'm clear on this, when you're talking about the monies that we already know what the Spurs are going to put in, what the county and the folks are going to vote on for that. As far as the city is concerned, the money that's coming from the state of Texas, is my understanding, can only be spent on projects like this. Is that correct?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because the financial structure here has been in question. You're exactly right. So this is going to be paid for through a visitor tax, right? People that stay in hotels and use rental cars. That's going to be the county portion of the money, about $311 million. The Spurs are going to put in anywhere from $500 probably to $600 million of cash for the arena. And then the city portion is exactly what you say. It is almost all from what's called project finance zone dollars. And these are state tax dollars that cities can only use for these kind of things, convention centers, arenas, and things like that. So to be clear, no local tax dollars will be used on this project. And listen, there's been nobody more vocal over the last 2 years about how we spend our citizens' tax dollars than me. If citizens' tax dollars were in play on this project, I would be out there yelling and railing against it, but that's not the case. Like you point out, this is PFZ money, state tax dollars. We either use it for this or the money goes back to the state.
And then it gets used in other cities in Texas, like I know Austin is working on their convention center. Dallas is, Lubbock, San Angelo. All right. So that money's going to get used, whether it's in San Antonio or not. But it can't be used for some of the other things that we've heard the mayor say, like with homelessness. That's not what this money can be used for.
And that's really where the mayor has been so disingenuous about this, because you're exactly right. This money, it's either used for convention centers, arenas, things like that, or it goes back to the state. It cannot be used elsewhere. Now, I will tell you this. Next year, we are going to have to vote on the infrastructure piece of this, right? Where we're going to have to vote on a bond for probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 million for infrastructure. You know, parking garages, streets, sidewalks, everything around where this new arena would be, around where the Alamo Dome is, okay? Now, that $250 million, the answer is yes. That is money that, rather than using it there for the infrastructure, we could spread it all around the city and use it in different districts. So we need to be very, very transparent with the people about that. So when we get to next year, the city's going to just have a decision to make. Do we want to put this money there for infrastructure and have a Spurs arena, or do we not?
All right, Councilman White, just so I'm clear on this thing, and I'm a little slow, but that's why we have you on, so you can explain this to us. That has nothing, what you just talked about has nothing to do with the arena. It's two separate things, am I right?
The infrastructure?
No, I'm talking about the arena itself. Just the arena. We're talking about that, not the rest of Project Marvel. Would we still have to vote on that bond that you were just talking about to be a part of a new Spurs arena?
So yes, in order for the new arena to proceed, there are going to have to be 2 yes votes by the public. Number one, and that's in a most likely scenario. Number one, the citizens in November are going to have to say yes to the raise in the venue tax that the county is proposing. And then number 2, next May, when that's the likely time for the vote, the citizens are going to have to say yes to the infrastructure bond to have that infrastructure go in around the new stadium. We're going to need yes votes to both of those for the stadium to go forward.
Mark White joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's from District 10. For the record, and just for people tuning in, we have invited the mayor to come on the Blitz. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not, I don't know. But we do want to get her side to it because it feels like, Mark, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was a pretty clear vision for Project Marvel with the city staff and the city council. Then the elections happened, and maybe not everybody shares the same vision, although it does feel like those that don't maybe share the vision, is the way I'm interpreting it, they just won't come out and say they're against it. They're just coming up with reasons to cloud everything. Is that fair?
I think you're 100% correct, other than with this caveat. If you listened to the meeting last week, there was very clearly 7 council members that are for moving forward. Okay, so I think, yes, the last council and city staff was for moving this thing forward, and even today we still have 7 council members that want to move forward. And that's what was so interesting about last week, because the mayor thought that she could direct city staff to stop negotiations. But as you know, we are in a council manager form of government. So the city manager does not report or take executive orders from the mayor. He has to follow the will of the council. And because 7 is obviously a majority when you're talking about an 11-person council, that's why our city manager had to say, listen, respectfully, Mayor, I understand what you want. However, we will be moving forward with negotiations because that is clearly the will of this council.
Councilman White, so the next you said is a vote, and you'd like to have that by the end of the month. Who calls for that vote? Is that the city manager?
The there's 3 ways a vote can be called. The city manager can put it on the agenda, the mayor can put it on the agenda, or 3 council members can do what's called a 3-signature memo to put something on the agenda. In this particular case, I believe the city manager is going to put it on the agenda and call for the vote.
You know, it's so trying to think of the right words. You know, we're in the toy department here in the sports talk world, and we like to stay out of politics for a lot of reasons, unless something like this affects the sports radio audience. But it just feels like this is a lot of politicking, a political game. You mentioned the meeting last week. Isn't that the one that lasted like 9 hours?
That's the one.
And you're right. Why do you? What goes on for 9 hours where you can pay attention?
Yeah. You know, and it's really unfortunate what's going on right now, and people all over the city are calling me and say, what is the mayor doing here? Like, we need to keep our San Antonio Spurs in the city. This looks like a good deal for the city. What's going on? And I don't know if it's because this whole thing started before this mayor got here, and she doesn't like it because she's not going to be the one to get the credit for it, or what the heck it is. But there is a lot of political games, I think, going on the other side over there. But, you know, San Antonio, I tell people, we don't have the resources that Dallas, Houston, Austin has. Okay, if we're going to be successful, especially from an economic development standpoint, we have to have the business community, city staff, council, all pulling on the same end of the rope. And right now, we have a bad situation going down at City Hall where the mayor is really obstructing on some of these issues, and it's making it difficult.
Councilman White, just explain to us and to our audience. Look, we all know we want the Spurs here. We want them to have a great new arena. Don't want them going anywhere, and I'm not saying that they've threatened that because I know they haven't. But what else with this Project Marvel? Just talk about what it would do for this city moving forward.
Sure. Well, so in terms of the Spurs, you're exactly right. They haven't made any of those threats or anything, but it is important to note that there's cities like Seattle, Las Vegas, Nashville, Austin that are all dying to get an NBA team, and they're calling every single day. And a bunch of the Spurs owners, right? You know, some of them are here locally, but some of them are not. Okay, and those folks just care about their investment, and they want to double, triple their investment regardless of where the team is. And so, you know, it's important that we remember that when we think about how important it is to get this deal done, and of course have our Spurs here, because the economic impact of the Spurs in town, right? More than 500 jobs, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars get spent here from the outside because the Spurs are here. So it's important to keep them. And yes, as Project Marvel, as a whole, like, this is an economic development opportunity. We have to be fiscally responsible, of course, in how we do it, right? And the way things were done 20 plus years ago with putting the Spurs Stadium on the east side, right, and then having no plan at all as to how to develop around it, it was an absolute bust. But if this works, if this is done the right way, and we can have an arena downtown and we can develop around it with shops and hotels and restaurant and bars, the revenue that could create for the city, right, would allow us to do all the other things we would want to do. It would give us more money to do infrastructure projects around the city. It would give us more money to fund these programs that some of my colleagues feel are so important, some of the nonprofits and some of the educational programs and other things. So if this is done right, it can be a huge win for San Antonio. And as far as I'm concerned, city council to me is about, one, it's public safety, keeping the citizens safe. Number two, it's about infrastructure, making sure roads and sidewalks and drainage issues are taken care of. And then number three, it's about economic development, providing jobs and better paying jobs for our citizens, attracting businesses to come here. And that's really what this is all about.
Talking with Mark White, District 10 City Councilman, here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Councilman White, the other day it was on the news. You were kind of having a little back and forth with the mayor, some of the things you've said here today. How difficult is it right now on City Council when it seems like there is more butting heads than trying to work through problems?
It's tremendously difficult. As I mentioned, we need to be working together on these issues. Every day I'm out in my district, my colleagues are out in their districts. By the way, my colleagues are really good people, right? We don't always agree on the politics, but they're good people with big hearts that want to do right by the city. But we are in our communities. We're hearing about issues. We go back to City Hall, and we need to work together to figure out how to solve the problems of our citizens. And the mayor should be leading that effort, bringing people together, having it be a collaborative situation, because we're better when we're working on things together. And right now, that's not the case. She's having, headbutting with council, headbutting with staff. And so, it's not just an uncomfortable place to be, but it's also a not very productive place to be. And so we need to get that rectified pretty quickly, again, so that we can do the work that the people elected us to do.
Councilman White, let me ask you, when you go back into your district and you talk to the folks there, what do they say about Project Marvel in the Spurs arena?
Yeah, so I'll tell you that overall, the sentiment is fairly split right now. Okay, and I think a big part of that is because not enough people are doing what you're doing, which is it's getting accurate information out to the public. So people feel like their tax dollars are going to be the one going to pay for it. They don't understand why the millionaires and billionaires aren't paying for their own stadium. Again, there's a lot of misinformation, and so people are very, very wary of it. There's also a distrust of government out there that just make things worse. However, I'm very fortunate in my district that I have people that I believe really believe in me. And so when I'm able to sit in front of them and explain the financial structure that's in play here, explain the vision and what this could do for the city, after I do that, people say, well, yeah, this is something that you guys should definitely explore. And so, to the extent we can keep getting the right message out there and let people know exactly what's in this deal, I think more and more people will come around.
Mark, and again, I'm always trying to figure out answers, especially when I'm in an area that I don't know enough about, and this is one of them. It's politics. On one of our comments right now on our YouTube channel, and if you could clarify this, the PFZ generates funds, blah, 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 but also says there's a deadline for it to be used on a project, so we are on the clock. Now, the mayor the other day said the Spurs could stay at the Frostbank Center and there's no urgency. If this comment, if I'm reading it accurately, there is some urgency because there is a deadline to use these funds. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there is some deadline to use the funds, but again, the most immediate urgency is the fact that we're going to have a vote in November. And it's not fair to the citizens to have a vote without all the information. And so we need to approve this term sheet so that for the next 75 days, between this month and between that November election, the citizens can review the term sheet and know exactly what they are voting for or against. Right, so that's the urgency, and we can get an economic analysis done, another one, and it'll be ready by next year. But there is no other economic analysis that can be done before November. And by the way, the economic analysis we have right now was done by a very, very reputable firm, and it tells us everything that we need to know. And so, again, the urgency is the November vote. People deserve to have the information, and that's what I'm fighting for.
Well, Councilman, why? As far as the vote goes, you said you want it before the end of the month, or you'd like to have it before the end of the month. Is there a meeting that you guys are going to have here coming up, a date that we might be able to expect that?
Yeah, you can look at August 21st, right? That is next Thursday. Okay. So in an ideal world, and what most council members, again, said last week is we would like to see this posted on the agenda this Friday for the meeting next Thursday, August 21st. That's the goal. It's possible that it gets pushed back to the following week, August 28th. But before the end of the month, the goal is to get this vote done, and everybody will get to have their say at that time.
Fair enough.
So a vote to actually get a term sheet, right?
It'll be a vote to approve the term sheet. So it'll say exactly how much money the city's putting in, the Spurs, et cetera. What sort of dollar figure is going to be in the community benefits agreement, which is something that we were working on today, right? The Spurs are going to put in millions and millions of dollars on for the community's benefit. So all of that will be laid out in the term sheet. Council will review it. We will vote upon if it's acceptable, and then we'll move on. And then the citizens will know, okay, if we vote for this venue tax to move the stadium forward in November, here's the rest of the terms of the deal. Do I like it? Do I not? And again, it's democracy in action. The citizens will get to decide.
Mark White, District 10, appreciate the knowledge and the insight and clarifying a bunch of stuff. And again, for the record, we have invited the mayor on. We're maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Hey, you let me know. Happy to be back anytime.
Well, Mark, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Mark White from District 10 on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Great stuff. We ought to react to that. And if you want to react to that, you're more than welcome to do so as well. Many ways to do that. Go to our YouTube page, San Antonio Sports Star. You can comment there. You can do it the old-fashioned way. You can give us a call, 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN, at Jason Minix, at Joe Reinigle 210 on Twitter. However you want to get that done, we'll get it done. We'll react to what the councilman had to say when we return here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First of all, let me talk to you about Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing, family-owned company, local company that's been in business here for a long, long time. That means they're doing it right, and you know they're doing it right. Great company and great people. That's the important thing. And look, again, I can tell you all the things that we have here. You know it. Stevens Roofing knows it. All the stuff that can damage your roof. We've had a bunch of storms. We had a bunch of heat. You need to get that roof checked out to make sure that everything is okay. There's an easy way to do that. Just call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They're going to send out an experienced team. They'll inspect your roof for free under no obligation. They're going to make sure it's sealed, secure, and energy efficient. Make sure that everything is okay so you feel protected for the long haul. And it doesn't matter what kind of roof. If you've got a metal roof, they can come out and inspect that. Composition, obviously, they can do that. If you got a commercial building, they can check that roof as well. Stevens Roofing covers all the bases. They're the absolute best in the business, and when you're making a decision like this, you want the best in the business. That is Stevens Roofing and Solar. 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net to schedule that free inspection.
You're locked on The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Does RexMD really work?
Over 85% of guys said not only does it work, they saw results the very first night. And you can get your first month free at freerexmd.com with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit freerexmd.com to get your first month free. That's FREEREXMD.com.
It's the last weekend of quarter horse racing season at Retama Park. And every Saturday night, cheer on the Wheatie Dogs as they race for big prizes. Enjoy terrace dining along with San Antonio's best sports bar, Clubhouse 95. With live music every Friday night. Nothing beats quarter horse racing when you get playpen rewards with every wager. This is the last weekend of quarter horse racing until next year. So don't miss live racing action at Retama Park. For all the details, visit retamapark.com. That's retamapark.com. Attention football fans, AARP Texas is teaming up with San Antonio Sports Star for this season's Dallas Cowboys training camp. Enter for your chance to win a pair of preseason tickets or tickets to a home game. Visit sasportstar.com now to enter for a chance to win. Don't miss out on this opportunity, brought to you by AARP Texas. Whether you're a diehard fan or just love the excitement of game day, AARP Texas has you covered. Again, just go to sasportstar.com and enter for a chance to win big with AARP Texas. It's your chance to experience Cowboys football live. Visit sasportstar.com now.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6. Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Free products and services are the best. They're next to non-existent, though. But the next best thing does exist. Barter. Alamo Barter. Right here in San Antonio, if you have a business and provide a product or service, you can barter with hundreds of other businesses that are already members. From trips to a medical visit, restaurants, and home services, Alamo Barter is a great way for you to trade out your skills with others. Call Alamo Barter or visit them online at alamobarter.com. alamobarter.com.
Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use card lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys have wrapped up practice out in Oxnard, California, and we got a little bit of a surprise. Cowboys defensive back Deron Bland told reporters after practice today his agent has had talks with the Cowboys, and he is hopeful to get a new contract before the season begins. And the opening week slate in the NBA has been released, and your San Antonio Spurs will open up against the Dallas Mavericks. Wimby going up against Cooper Flagg.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, yeah, and it is 5 o'clock if you're getting off work right now. Congratulations. You've made it through Tuesday. We're on our way to Hump Day.
Hump Day?
Get a little early Hump Day in there.
A little premature for that, sir.
Well, that's all right. I'm used to it. It's fine. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. That's Jason Minix, and we're having a great day. I'm very happy that you guys are joining us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
Well, and again, it is beautiful, but, you know, in the premature theme, I think a lot of people were celebrating Project Marvel a little too prematurely when the election happened, and just the response from what we've heard from Mark White just a few minutes ago. And if you missed it, it will soon be up on the audio vault there at sasportstar.com, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. I've seen some other outlets, Ken's 5, tweeting some things or quoting some things that Mark White was saying during the interview, some of the comments on YouTube. Some people texting me, friends going, oh, my goodness, it might have been the worst election when it comes to Project Marvel, the result of it anyway. But yet we knew that during the election. And Mayor Jones, and again, she's been invited on. Maybe she comes on tomorrow.
Possibly.
Maybe she comes on tomorrow. Maybe not. But the invite is there. During the election season, she was on the Blitz.
Yep.
And while she didn't say she was against it, she wanted more clarity. The Spurs gave that clarity when they committed $1 billion to the project. Because you go back when she was on during the election, during the runoff time, she wanted to know what the Spurs were going to put in. They're putting in $1 billion. Oklahoma City's putting in, what, $50 million?
$50 million.
I mean, and so, and then I saw where she compared this to something in Philadelphia. I don't know if that's a fair comp if you're using real estate terms. Oklahoma City's probably a little bit more fair. One pro sports team, and you do everything you can to make sure they stay happy. And I do appreciate Councilman White saying the Spurs have not made any closed back meeting, whatever threats on moving. But I don't think any of us are hitting the sand enough to think no matter how this turns out, the Spurs won't go anywhere. We see sports teams do this all the time. And Peter J. Holt can say he's committed to San Antonio all he wants, but you look at where some of those other investors have come from, they don't have those same deep San Antonio ties that the Holt family does.
Well, you're exactly right. And that's important, obviously. But the Spurs have given no indication of that, and I'm going to hold them to their word. But look, if this fails, and, I mean, they're going to have to go somewhere or negotiate a new lease at the Frost Bank Center. I don't think they're going to do that.
No.
Either way, this thing is up in 2030. Their lease runs out. I think it's 30 or 32. It's in that area.
Less than 10 years.
Yes, less than 10 years. So they've got to do something, and it's not going to be there. I'm telling you. But it's not just that. That's important because they're important to this city. It's just what this project can do for the downtown area of San Antonio and move us forward. And the mayor said something, what was it, yesterday, whenever she was talking about San Antonio being the 7th largest city, and we need to start acting like it. This is how you act like it. You progress. And all the things that Councilman White said about what would get done and how it would get done and how it would improve the downtown area and bring business into the city, that's how you become the city that the mayor is talking about. And so and everything he said, Jason, just now baffles me even more why she's putting up roadblocks. It just doesn't make any sense because if she wants another study done, that can happen after the council votes on this thing they got to vote on here on the 22nd.
It is possible that she just doesn't know. She's new here, right? Pledge worked here for 7 years. Every time something was wrong, it's like, I knew I didn't know that. Right? No, I'm kidding. But does she understand completely how everything works? Because it sounded like Eric Walsh had to explain to her the way our city is set up that, yeah, we can move forward and you've got one of 11 votes, Mayor, and right now it's 7-4 moving forward, so city staff can move forward. And you don't know what you don't know. She has an idea, but as it sounded like from what Mark White told us, that Eric Walsh had to explain to her how things worked. And so things can move forward even though those appear to be against her wishes. And they are moving forward, and there is deadlines that need to be met for a variety of reasons, and 100% I agree with Mark White, and I never heard it said this way before or thought about it in these terms, but you need that term sheet so that when we do go to the polls in November, because Bexar County has already put it on there, you have to know what you're voting on. So that's the urgency there, even though she's saying that we can wait, that there is no urgency because the lease expires September 30th of 2032 for the Spurs right now. But there is urgency, and for reasons that most of us hadn't thought about before until Mark White brought it up.
Well, and that's very true. And look, I learned something today, and I think you learned something today, and hopefully all of you did. This will require 2 public votes to move forward. I was in the dark about that. The one in November for the Bexar County dollars, and then another one, I guess, in May or sometime next year for a bond issue. So for me, that was news to me, and I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was just this one, and we move forward, and this thing's going.
It's there's so much to it, and I think maybe that's Project Marvel is so massive and will be done in so many different stages. I think we all just need, I don't know, the Project Marvel for Dummies book on step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and boom, we've got this incredible downtown that looks like the drawings that we saw several months ago with the Alamo Dome with the new
Can you
roof.
imagine how beautiful that would make the downtown area look?
It'd be incredible.
It would be absolutely incredible. No doubt about it. My goodness. I tell you what, it's a complicated issue, and when you get politics involved, it makes it even more complicated, and folks are going to be on both sides of the fence here, and that's the way that it works.
In the legal terms, you hear this term a lot from Rob Thompson, who's from a family of lawyers. A delay is a win. She's trying to delay, but can't, so she doesn't get the win.
No, she can't. Not at least for this particular battle that's going on, because according to Mark White, it looks like they have the votes to move this thing forward, at least for this part of the process, and it will continue on. That is for sure. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more Dallas Cowboys football. Charean Williams from ProFootballTalk.com joins us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're having any issues at your home with your plumbing, your AC, or your job, Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau, and at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. So call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up. I want winners. Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off. I like this kind of party! From AARP and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back, and we are ready to cross the state of Texas to bring the best hunting show to a city near you. The Hunters Extravaganza is a great event for the whole family. We have the latest and greatest the hunting world has to offer, from products to hunts, and feature seminars with Dr. Deer, Gary Robertson, and more. Come enjoy attractions like rattlesnakes, gator country, a fish tank, and many more. Join us in San Antonio for the Hunters Extravaganza. Get tickets at ttha.com. Brought to you by the Texas Trophy Hunters Association.
It's Tuesday, and that means Taco Tuesday at Tamalitos. Fresh tacos, just $1. Today only. Bring your crew. Bring your appetite. Tamalitos is serving it up hot every Tuesday. Local flavor, big taste. 2042 South Callahan Road.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down, because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys. And I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Do you need to get rid of things like furniture, mattresses, tires, and appliances? San Antonio has 4 drop-off centers for residential bulky items conveniently located around the city. Open 5 days a week except holidays. Visit sarecycles.org. This service is free for solid waste customers that pay the environmental fee on their CPS energy bill, including customers that live in apartments. Visit sarecycles.org for hours, locations, and accepted materials. That's sarecycles.org.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll have a fully operational Death Star, fully manned and ready to attack. Is Micah a new cowboy? And Project Marvel better be moving on. And oh my goodness, college football. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I'm A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Woo! I'm glad we don't have to get up at 6, start a show at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Minix, I'm telling you what, that's early. I prefer being on in the afternoon because, well, we get to talk with good people that know a lot about the Dallas Cowboys.
And they don't have to wake up early
They
for
don't
this
either.
The great Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Yep, Micah still hasn't signed. We talked all about that last week, but we got to talk about what we saw on a football field Saturday, Charean. So your call, Micah or football?
I don't know if Cowboys fans want to hear about football, do they, after that performance? I think they'd rather talk about Micah and the potential of Micah coming back. Wow.
Yeah.
What a choice.
I mean, look, it was
it was rusty. Let's put it down. I'll be nice.
Yeah. Well, I think two things. I think, one, it shows how top-heavy the Cowboys are. And a lot of that has to do with the big salaries that they've paid. You have to cut somewhere, and it's obvious that their depth is not as good as other teams, which tells you that they are going to have to stay really healthy, which relies a lot on luck. If they stay healthy, they'll be contenders. If they have injuries, they won't be. It's as simple as that. They can't survive injuries to a big player, to a Micah Parsons, assuming he's there, to a CeeDee Lamb, to a Dak Prescott. You know, they can't be the Eagles from a few years ago and they lose their quarterback and guess what? They still win the Super Bowl. That isn't this team. They've got to stay super healthy. They're going to have to be one of the healthiest teams in football. And again, that has a lot to do with luck, and you don't like relying on luck. But that's where they are right now, I think, in my opinion. The other thing I'll say is I hate, and research shows you that you need to play your starters. And I hate this Cowboys philosophy. There's not the coach's philosophy. It's not Brian Schottenheimer's philosophy. It's not Mike McCarthy's philosophy. They may have the same philosophy, but I'm saying this comes from the top. This is Jerry Jones's philosophy with the Cowboys. Let's bubble wrap our star players. We're not going to, risk getting them injured. And I know Jordan Love has the left thumb injury and had surgery today, and I understand there's that risk. But research shows you that it is better to play your starters, at least some, in the preseason, that you're better prepared for the start of the season. And you look at teams like the Patriots with Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Tom Brady played in the preseason. Not a lot, but Tom Brady played in the preseason. Patrick Mahomes played in the preseason opener. He played 2 snaps because they got a turnover on the opening kickoff, so he didn't stay in long, but he played 2 snaps. In the past, he's played 6, 7, 8 snaps in the first preseason game and a little bit in the second preseason game, and he's been done. So I'm not saying you need to play a lot in the preseason if you're a star player. You don't need to play a lot, but you do need to play some snaps in the preseason to be totally ready to go in the regular season. That's my opinion. Now, Sean McVay, he's one of those also that has the opinion, my starters are not playing in a single game. I'm out. Like, they're bubble wrapped and they're sitting on the side.
I agree with you. And Joe Burrow threw 2 touchdown passes the other night. So, I mean, he looked pretty good. And they wanted to change up the way they did things because they get off to such slow starts in the season. I totally agree with you, and I don't expect to see any Cowboy starters, but it is what it is. I want to ask you, because today Mozzie Smith comes off the field and he meets with reporter Charean, and I'm going by the tweets of some of the reporters that were out there, and he basically said he didn't play well in that first game, and lots expected of him, and he's going into year 3. What do you think it is about this guy? I've heard I say excuses with the 3 different defensive coordinators. Maybe there's something to that, but is he just not the guy that the Cowboys thought he would be?
Yeah, and I don't think he fits what they thought he would fit in the interior of their defensive line. He just hasn't been that guy, and it's unfortunate. You know, it reminds you of Taco Charlton, obviously, who, they passed up T.J. Watt to take Taco Charlton, and it was a bad pick. This is a bad pick, and we don't say that often about the Cowboys, especially in the early rounds, especially in the first round. It's usually, hey, the Cowboys made a really good pick with that first-round pick. But they failed on Taco Charlton, and they failed on Mozzie Smith. And I think at this point, he is what he is. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think what you've seen is what he is. And he may not even make the roster. And, maybe he signs the practice squad, maybe not, maybe he goes somewhere else, maybe he needs a fresh start, a defense where he better fits what they want to do. I don't know, but he has not been good. He has not played up to what the Cowboys had in mind that his potential was anyway. And so that's where they stand. And if you're asking where they need to shore up their defense or shore up their team, for that matter, it's in the interior of the defensive line and at cornerback. They've got to get better at those 2 positions, or it could be a really slow start to the season because teams are going to be able to run on them, and they're going to be able to pass on them if they can't get to the quarterback because they're not going to be able to cover. They just don't have that depth at corner. Later in the season, they may be okay when they get everybody back healthy. But for the start of the season, you think they're going to go out there and cover the Eagles? I don't see it. I don't think that's going to happen. And just imagine if Micah Parsons isn't out there week 1, or if Micah Parsons signs right before the season and doesn't have any practice time. They're really in trouble against the Eagles, I think, unless they do something to shore up. And I don't know what you do at this point, but shore up the defensive tackle spot and shore up the corner spot. There are some corners out there who they could sign who are veterans who we all know.
Yeah, like Stephon Gilmore. I'm surprised, one, he's still available, but especially after watching the preseason game, why they didn't go get him, because it doesn't appear Diggs or Revel or I mean, they just are so thin in that area. It was a concern a couple of weeks ago when we were in Oxnard, and it seems to be a greater concern now because they haven't addressed it. But, hey, Deron Bland said that they're talking to his agent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they need to address it. There's still some corners out there they can go get. And you know what? There's still some trades they can make. And I saw the Chiefs were talking about, hey, we're looking at, to make some deals. And they're not going to be for star players. Don't get that in mind. But for those guys who were, down at the end of the roster, like teams upgrade, like we saw the Raiders and who they trade with the other day, the Eagles. Raiders and Eagles pulled off that trade, a defensive tackle for a corner. You're going to see some things like that, and you may see Dallas have 1 or 2 of those. I think they need to make one of those trades at defensive tackle. There's a ton of backup defensive tackles on other teams who are better than what the Cowboys have as their starters.
Well, it's interesting, and it will be interesting with that cornerback position. But Jason mentioned Deron Bland, and that kind of blew me away when he came off the field today. He said, yeah, my age, and we're hopeful to get something done by the start of the season. And it's I don't know, is that a poke at Micah somehow, some way, or is it just business as usual?
No, I think it's business as usual. I think those contracts that aren't the huge contracts that they, you look at Tyron Smith was probably the first one they did, and they did him early. And it was a team-friendly deal. And I think Jeff Ferguson was a team-friendly deal. And any of those deals, I think they can get team-friendly deals. They are more than willing to do them early. If I'm a player and the Cowboys are willing to do a deal early, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm thinking, they're fleecing me on this deal. I'm going to bet on myself. And that's what Dak Prescott did. He said, I don't like this offer. I get a better offer next year. This is his first contract. So I'm just going to bet on myself, and he did, and he won. And that's what some players do. They're willing to bet on themselves. But it sounds like Deron Bland is ready to sign, and that's a good thing for the Cowboys. If they can get some of these other guys signed, then you know that you have some of these starters lined up for you, beyond the stars, that you have some of these other guys lined up long-term on your roster, and I think that's a good thing. He can play. We all know he can play. You want him on your roster beyond when his contract expires, so if you can get him done, get him done.
Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us here on the Blitz. I'm going to test your memory here a little bit because I Googled trying to figure out what Emitt was talking about last night at that blue carpet event in Hollywood for the Netflix premiere when he said, "Don't compare me to Micah Parsons." I'm paraphrasing, but he said, "I never held out. I was not under contract, but he could only negotiate with one team." And, he said he wasn't a holdout. I've always thought he held out for those 2 games before he got his deal. Is he right in saying he didn't hold out technically?
Oh, no, I think it was a holdout. I mean, we've always called it a holdout. I think he's just playing semantics at this point. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe talk to Jerry. Doesn't want to be compared to Micah. I don't know. But yes, it definitely was a holdout. He wasn't there, and the Cowboys missed him, and the Cowboys got him signed. So, I would definitely call him a holdout. And that's really the first one where the Cowboys delayed signing, one of their star players that, you knew they were going to get him signed at some point, but it took 2 games into the season. They start 0-2, and it's all of a sudden we got to get this guy signed. And so they did that. But yeah, to me, it's kind of a similar situation. I think Emitt was the first one of these guys who, they've waited and waited and waited on. He was obviously went the longest because he went into the season, which is much harder to do now than it was then. And I don't know if we'll see a player do that. Trey Hendrickson and possibly Micah are going to be the big test cases for this. Cam Hayward may be. What's going to happen if they don't get them signed before the start of the season? Is some player willing to sit out a game or 2 or 3 like Emitt did? Because, again, you're betting on yourself. And if you think the team's going to be bad without you or worse without you or lose without you, really miss you, then that's what you do. And it worked out for Emmitt Smith, and it could work out for one of these other guys if they decide to do that. But we haven't seen that, obviously, in a long time. Who was the last running back? Le'Veon Bell may have been the last. No, the edge rusher for the Jets. Hassan Reddick didn't show up. I guess he was the last one to do that. So we have seen it a couple times, and it didn't work out for those guys, obviously.
Well, boy, what a roll of the dice. Can you imagine Micah Parsons sitting out a couple of games and Cowboys are 2-0? And then what do you do? I mean, but if they're 0-2, there's a different thing there. It's just crazy. Charean, when you look at this, and again, I was curious to see Joe Milton in action, and I don't think he played well at all. He's got a cannon. I don't think there's any question. He's athletic as all get out, no question. But his accuracy is a little off, and I don't think he knows how to not throw a fastball.
Yeah, the touch was a little bit missing, and I think he just needs time. He needs development. He's a young guy. He didn't play much last season, but he obviously in that last game, he showed potential with the way he played for the Patriots. I thought he played really well in that game. I watched that game. He played really well in that game, and I was a little surprised that the Patriots moved on from him, but I thought it had more to do with, Drake May not looking over his shoulder to see this guy who played really well at the end of last season. But he did not play well at all, a little disappointing. He's learned a new offense now. He has a new team, second year, so he's played for 2 teams, 2 head coaches, 2 offensive systems, so it's probably some of that, still learning the playbook a little bit. So I'm not ready to give up on Joe Milton, but I expected more from Joe Milton, and I hope that we see more by the 3rd preseason game. At this point, Schottenheimer was indecisive on who his backup quarterback's going to be. I don't think there's any indecision about it right now today. I think Will Greer's your backup quarterback, and I think Joe Milton's your 3rd quarterback. But that could change before the end of the preseason. But if I'm going to the season right now today, Will Greer is my backup quarterback.
Wow.
Well, and again, and Milton will get every opportunity because they know what they have in Will Greer. Travis and Jason know what they have in Taylor Swift. The most viewed podcast episode ever 144 million views from some show out of Saudi. How quickly will Taylor take new heights to new heights and break that record?
Yeah, it might not be long, that's for sure. So, yeah, they've created a little something there with Travis and Taylor, that's for sure. So I know Swifty fans are Chiefs fans now, so, you know, they're not going to threaten the Cowboys as America's team, but I do think they have more fans than they once did because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there's no question about it. We're all Swifties. Charean, are you a Swifty?
All Swifties. I'm a Swifty.
I'm a Swifty.
Yeah.
Are you going to be watching tomorrow?
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Why not?
Just give me the highlights on Twitter.
We will have them.
Charean, always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Follow Charean Williams on Twitter at NFL Charean Williams on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online, buyersbarricades.com.
Interesting what Charean said there about Joe Milton and Will Grier. She thinks Grier will be the backup, not Milton.
I think that's fair. Right now, if Dak were to get hurt, who do you trust more? They know what they have in Will Grier. They need to see what they have in Joe Milton. And as I've been saying, he is the perfect developmental quarterback. He's not that guy yet.
He's not that guy yet. He'll get his opportunity the next two preseason games for sure, and we'll see where he goes from there.
Stand back there and rip piss missiles at people.
He does that. I wish he'd dribble a little bit instead of piss missiles. You know, I mean, he needs to dribble a little bit.
Nobody wants a dribble.
He needs to find the end game there, the in between there. You know what I mean?
Dribbling, in your analogy, is dirting the ball, which is bad.
Well, the little rainbow maybe. Pee in the trash can, Joe, will you? Do that.
Dude, stop with the analogies, man.
Hey,
they're all bad.
Schottenheimer started this whole thing.
I mean, you get a piss missile and a rainbow. No.
Piss missile, rainbow, and a dribble. Where else can you get that? But right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't know where to go with that. Come on now. Hey, guys, you already know my friends at Synergenics and Low T Center. They've been changing the lives of men across the country for well over a decade. Testosterone replacement therapy has helped men get their energy back, regain confidence, save their marriages, helped overcome symptoms associated with depression. Truly life-changing. And now they are helping women balance their hormones and bring balance back to their lives with hormone replacement therapy. In-center and at-home treatment options are available for women, so you can go into a Synergenics or Low T center and find out which is right for you when you speak with one of their providers about injections, topical creams, and pellets. Ladies can go over to any of the centers, get a test, which includes a full hormone panel, and they're going to treat the whole patient, looking at lab results, how you feel, create a personalized hormone therapy just for you. Imagine in your house, everybody feeling better because everybody's hormones are getting restored. So, guys, if you haven't taken your T-test yet, go get it done. Ladies, time to take control of your health as well. Synergenics and Low T Center. Book your appointment now, fixmylowt.com. Fixmylowt.com. You'll be glad you did.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Golf Classic is back, baby. Get the crew together. Guys, gals, the whole gang. And join us Monday, September 29th at for a foursome, a steal for a day on a beautiful course with your buddies. Proceeds benefit the Community Foundation of the Hill Country. But don't worry, this isn't a stuffy tournament. No the course will keep the party rolling at the now at sasportstar.com.
Hungry after the game? Hit up Tamalitos Restaurant, home of San Antonio's best weekly specials and legendary Taco Tuesdays. Fresh, loaded, and just $1. Tamalitos, local flavor, big taste. 2042 South Callahan Road, right across Missions Baseball Stadium.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Hot damn! Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% kick of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 6. The Cowboys are back home from training camp for their second preseason game, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Pre-game at 5. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man, what a day it's been, huh? A little sports, a little politics, little this, little that.
You know,
been a good day.
For some, politics is sport. And
Yes, it is.
I think,
Blood sport.
I think we got a little taste of that earlier from District 10 Councilman Mark White, who joined us here on the Blitz. If you missed it, it is available online right now at sasportstar.com, the audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. I think we've all tweeted out the link to it at Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix, at SA Sports Star. We have invited the mayor on. We haven't heard back from her. Maybe tomorrow is what we were told.
We'll keep trying. And all she can do is say no.
And for the record, we've invited somebody from Spurs Sports and Entertainment on.
We have.
It would love to have Peter J. Holt join us, or RC, or somebody at SS&E that's working on this daily.
Bobby Pettis would be a good one. That would be nice, too. So we'll keep trying because, look, we just want to make sure that information's out there. However you vote on this thing or however you feel about it, we just want we want to make sure you got the correct information. And I think Mark White really opened some eyes. I certainly learned a few things from that interview today and get a better understanding of what we're dealing with.
And what you get here, because we stay out of politics. That's one of the rules of the show to, I don't know, steal a line from Coach Jeff Traylor, one of our culture pillars. We don't get into politics unless it involves sports, and this does. But I don't care what side you're on, and you don't care what side I'm on. I'm all for it. But I want correct information out there. Nothing drives me nuts more than when somebody stops me while I'm having a beer at the Roo Pub and starts telling me about our property taxes going up for the Spurs arena.
Right.
There are no property taxes involved. So we just try to get information out there that is accurate from those that are willing to share that information.
Absolutely. That's all we want to do. And then you can decide. At least you're educated in what you want. And that's why we want to get both sides on there. Obviously, Mark White is in favor of the project.
Yep.
Mayor Ortiz-Jones is not, and I don't know if she's not. I shouldn't put words in her mouth, but she certainly wants to delay things a little bit.
That's one of the reasons I want to have her on. Her actions say different than her words. Her actions say that she doesn't see the vision.
Right.
Her words were she wanted more clarity. I don't know this whole pause thing, and there are deadlines. There is urgency, and as Mark White said, she's trying to delay. His words, obstacles that she's putting in the way of Project Marvel to at least get to the term sheet, which is the next step, which could happen this month.
And it seems like a very small first step, and as Mark White explained, if she wants something else after that, then she could ask for that then. But at least get this first step done, and then you move on with the progress of this thing, because there is a deadline in November. And as he said, and I certainly agree with him, look, the voters need the information. They need all the information before they vote in November, and that's going to happen, whether there's a term sheet or not. And it's not fair to the voters, in my opinion, to not have all the information that's available out there.
And that's and again, the economic study that she wants is, I've read about those kind of things. You don't create a budget off of those, from the way I understand it. You get an idea. Generally, it just clarifies what you already know. They've already done one. They take a long time to do,
and they're expensive.
And they're expensive. And I used this analogy earlier. It's like trying to decide today if you need an umbrella based on the Farmer's Almanac. The answer is no.
Yeah, no, you don't. Although Farmer's Almanac can be pretty accurate sometimes.
I mean,
but not daily.
Sure. Sure.
There are people that swear by that Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, farmers.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why they call it their almanac.
Is that how it is?
Yes.
Huh.
Farmers.
Huh. And us talking politics is us talking doctor stuff, because we're all armchair MDs. You see an injury and you go, ACL, Achilles.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Because we know, but we don't, which is why we always reach out to the good people at the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine for our injury update. Joining us now, Dr. Christian Baldwin, on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Doc, how's your Tuesday?
Tuesday's going great, guys. How are y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Better than Jordan Love. He's got a torn ligament in his left thumb. Having a procedure called a little procedure. Little because it's on the thumb, although they don't think he'll miss any regular season time.
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what they mean by that. Usually, anytime you have any kind of surgery, especially on a throwing hand, it's a concern. So, hopefully it's very minor and he has no issues and he's back as quick as they say. But that's certainly concerning.
Yeah, there's been, Doc, some of these injuries that look bad when they happen, but they turn out to be not so bad. And that was certainly the case for Texan safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson's knee. Isn't as serious as it could have been, and it's not out of the question that he could be back for the regular season opener. I don't know. When I see these things, it looks horrible. Everybody on the field thought it was horrible, but obviously his ACL was still intact.
Yeah, he's definitely dodged a bullet. Most of the time when we see something like that, it's going to turn out a lot worse. He's real lucky that nothing appears to be structurally damaged to the point where he's going to miss significant time. So, he has to count his blessings.
Absolutely. Now, the Cowboys open up against the Philadelphia Eagles on September 4th, Thursday night up there in Philly. The other night, Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson for Philadelphia. He looked like he suffered one of those injuries, which, again, armchair MDs, he saw it and went, oh, yeah, ACL for sure. It's a minor meniscus injury, had surgery, and they say that he's expected to be back and able to play in that opener on September 4th, considered week to week. Now, most of the time, we've been doing these updates for a long time. Meniscus is generally about 4 to 6 weeks, is it not?
It sure is, yeah. So they're definitely pushing the limit there a little bit. He must have just had a little minor tear, and they were able to clean it up and didn't need a repair, and he's not having to wait for anything to necessarily heal. So as long as he's not having a lot of swelling and his pain is controlled, it's a little bit aggressive, but they seem to be pushing the envelope there for sure.
Dr. Baldwin, let me ask you this, because I'm reading a story right now about Rashawn Slater. Obviously, he's done for the season due to a torn patellar tendon. And there's a doc in here that's quoted that says this could be worse than an ACL tear. Is that the case?
Well, they're truly vastly different injuries there. One is an intra-articular structure in the ACL, and one is an extra-articular structure, meaning it's not actually inside the joint, it's just on top of the knee. And so, I don't know if I 100% agree with that statement. I think they're so different. It all depends on the kind of injury that you have in regards to the patellar tendon, what kind of repair you get, and how confident you are in him being able to get back to explosive things with the patellar tendon. But overall, I would tend to say that, patellar tendon is probably slightly easier to get back to sports from in regards to that, comparing it to an ACL.
The way he just kind of had his knee buckle, and you saw it on the video. Is that normal for a patella tendon to go out that way, and could there be other tendons that are damaged in that knee as well?
Well, potentially, but unlikely. I'm sure they got an MRI and they looked at all the other structural components of the knee. Unfortunately, when it comes to patellar tendon and also quadriceps tendon injuries, instead of tearing the tendon below the kneecap or the patella, you tear the quad above it. They're both associated with a little bit of tendinopathy, or the tendon becoming a little bit abnormal. So, most of the time you see these injuries in a slightly older athlete, later 20s, certainly very common in the 30s. You don't really see a patella tendon injury in somebody who is in their early 20s, and certainly not in an adolescent like a teenager. So these patella tendon and quadricep tendon injuries are more associated with a little bit of overuse and just long-term overuse.
Doc, let me ask you this. It's a very sad story with the Houston Texans. Their tight end, Brevin Jordan, suffered a season-ending knee injury, same knee that he just recovered from. How often does that happen? Is that unusual, or do you see it often?
Yeah, unfortunately, we see it more than we would like to. Anytime you have a significant injury, let's say an ACL, for example, you're a much higher chance for not only, re-injury to that knee, but also injuring your other side. So that's just the nature of these injuries. And there's multiple factors for that, whether it be anatomical or just, genetic components, et cetera. But unfortunately, we see it more than we want to.
And again, you always hate to see those injuries reoccur, but that is why you've got to make sure you're coming back at the right time and not trying to rush it. You look at the Cowboys, Diggs keeps saying he wants to play in September. His time frame was in October. Is it, dumb question, but is it worth the risk to try to push it?
I think you have to look at each individual and see where they are in the rehab. And you have to try to be as objective as possible. If you go back 20 years, we used to let everybody go back after about 6 months after having ACL surgery. Well, looking at the data, we clearly realized it was not enough time. And most of the time it takes, close to a year or at least 10 months for the average, person to get back to having a knee that's functioning appropriately and not at risk for re-injury. So, you have to make sure that you get as much objective data and do different types of tests to ensure they're safe to go back to playing. And you don't want to risk it, especially not with these high-end athletes.
Yeah, no doubt. What do you look for, Doc, when you're trying to clear somebody that could be? I mean, the data I know and the tests, I guess, but what kind of tests are you taking, and how difficult is that for the guy that's recovering?
Yeah, it's hard to be objective if you're really part of his rehab team. So you want to get somebody who hasn't necessarily worked with him the whole part of his rehab, and get to go through a bunch of different tests, whether it be single leg hops, double leg hops, and you're looking at different mechanics. Does the knee turn inwards when they're landing? How confident are they when they're playing out there or doing drills that they're going to mimic coming back from and playing in games. And so there's a lot of different things that you look at, and you have to be as objective as you can. And you can't just say, oh, he can do a single leg hop and he didn't deviate with his knee upon landing and call it good. And you have to test them multiple points throughout the rehab process. Because if you just do one test and say, oh, he did fine, he may look good that day, but you want to have multiple good days in a row.
Good stuff, Dr. Christian Baldwin. Always appreciate the knowledge and the insight, my friend.
Anytime, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Dr. Christian Baldwin with the injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com.
Always good stuff there. Always good stuff. And I like the way he interprets what I'm trying to ask him sometimes. So he does a great job.
He's a surgeon on many, many levels.
And I appreciate that very much. Pledge, you got a show tonight? James Pledger. Extra innings with Pledge coming up next. Be sure and join the fellas in the morning huddle. Rob and AJ, they'll get you started at 6 o'clock. And Jason and I will be right back here on the Blitz at 2 o'clock. Have a great night, everybody.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.